What's good, everybody? Man, it's your boy, Mr. CDK, with my brother D Free. We here live and we ready to talk about all the action tonight, man. It's Saturday, the return of none other than Gervonta Tank Davis. Y'all know what it is, man. That young man get busy, and I'm ready for this fight, man. We see him fighting Mr. Lamont Roach tonight. What's going on, my brother Free?
What's going on, CDK?
Man, I'm chilling, man. How you see this fight playing out tonight? What do you think about this fight tonight? What's your prediction? Uh, how many rounds you think it goes tonight?
The main event, I got it between 7 and 8. It's like 7 and 10 rounds.
7 to 10 rounds. Yeah. JG, what's good, JG? Yeah, 7 to 10 rounds, man. I definitely believe like I was able to pick on the on my bet. I was able to pick 7 to 9 rounds. So I'm hoping the Tank is able to, get him out of there. I do think, like I've been saying, that Lamont Roach, you know what I'm saying? JG says Tank in 5. Salute to my brother, Mr. BVO, man. You know what I'm saying? The founder. What's good, Mr. BVO? I definitely believe that it's gonna be a fight that it can, it can be two things happen. One, Lamar Roach can get put to sleep early or he can get put to sleep late. It's his choice. I just feel like it depends on what he does. No disrespect to Lamar Roach. I think Lamar Roach is a pretty good, decent fighter, but I think that some mistakes will be made tonight. I think Lamar Roach, man, he's gonna let his ego play. He's gonna get, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna get in the way of, you know what I'm saying, what could happen. I think Lamar Roach is gonna take opportunity and chances to try to fight Tank tonight. And if he does that, folks, if he tries to fight Tank Davis tonight, he getting put to sleep. Do you think Free that he would let his ego get in the way and try to take a chance at fighting Tank early?
Um, I think so. I think he want to try to put on a show for his fans. He got a lot of people from DC coming out there, and he want to try to put on a show, and he want to make a name for it. So he want to try to do something that nobody else has been able to do against Tank. So I think he's going to try to do something outside of the ordinary, and it's going to cost him in this fight.
Definitely, definitely. And that's what I'm thinking, Free. I'm thinking that he's gonna try to do something that ain't nobody else done. I truly believe that he is confident 100%. I have not seen any fear in him, but I also don't think that he realizes who Tank is now. I think he's thinking about the Tank that he fought or faced at 15 years old. That is not the same Tank we're about to see. He's about to find that out. That Tank is on a different level now, and Tank on, you know what I'm saying, he brings a lot to the table, man. It's hard to deal with that man with everything. And I heard his sparring partner said that he's never been in there with anybody like Tank before. And the thing is, they didn't have the sparring partner name up there. They just had sparring partner of Gervonta Tank Davis. He did say that he had sparred Tank. He was the only sparring partner, which is kind of odd. What do you think about just having one sparring partner, Free? Don't you think that's kind of odd?
Um, yeah and no. It would be odd if this is something that he always done, but
Yeah.
I think he got somebody that was close to the same style of Lamont Roach, maybe
Mhm.
possibly close to the same size, and he worked with that individual. If this is true, he worked with that individual to get familiar with the style and the size of Lamont Roach.
Salute, man, to Mr. Thomas Hill. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my brother Thomas Hill. Thank you, man. It's always, man, a pleasure and honor, man, when y'all drop by. Definitely. He said, now from what the sparring partner was saying, his style and Lamont Roach style is very similar. And he also said that, you know what I'm saying, so something that Free just alluded to. He said that, man, even with the 16 ounce gloves on, in the headgear, in the bar across the headgear, that if Tank they would have had on, like, no headgear, none of that, or the regular size glove, Tank would have got him out of there. The man said he was fighting for his life. He said he was actually fighting for his life against Tank. Like, that's how serious it was. And he said the times him and Tank, they sparred one session of 13 rounds. Like, Tank is in go shape, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's ready, he's taking his fight real serious. A lot of people feel like he was gonna take Lamont Roach and just say, all right, I know I can get him out of there. But one thing about Tank, I give him credit. He don't underestimate nobody. He takes every fight seriously. And I just feel like, man, like, we're gonna get a real special show tonight. Now, something that we know there's an ongoing thing, Free, with Tank and Turkey Al Sheep. Tank made a statement about people selling their souls. Turkey Island she came out because we know for some reason Terrence Bud Crawford and Tank seem like they hate each other guts. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Those guys kind of have a similar background the way they came up. I don't understand it, but anyway, Turkey told Tank that in 2 fights, Terrence Bud Crawford will make more money in 2 fights than Tank has made in his whole career. Man, what do you think about that?
The only way that is possible is if they paying Terrence Crawford somewhere around 100 something million each fight, because you got to think about it. Tank, he's made a lot of money since he's been a pay-per-view star. He's averaged somewhere around $10 to $15 million a fight since he became a pay-per-view star. So Bud Crawford, he will have to do that. He will have to get paid somewhere around $100 million in these 2 fights to make more than what Tank made in his entire career.
Yeah, definitely. And this is what he's saying, Free. He's saying, and exactly what you said, but my brother BVO said Tank needs to stop bringing up Brother Floyd. I agree with that kind of in a sense too, BVO. I think it's time to let it go. You know what I'm saying? I think it's time to definitely let it go. Learn if I'm online right now, I'm about to call you back if you're outside. Come in. He definitely needs to let that go. I think it's time to let it go, and the reason being, him and Floyd have moved on for each other. But they're saying that Tank, exactly what you said, Free, you on the money. They said Tank has made around $100 million for his career. Exactly what you said. You got that spot on. They're saying that for this fight right here, Tank is getting $3 million on the front end, then pay-per-view by numbers. And off the gate. They said the gate is sold out. So they're looking for Tank to make probably what he usually makes for a fight like this, maybe $15 million. Now, they're saying that Bud Crawford's gonna make $50 million on the front end for Canelo, and he's gonna get pay-per-view buys off this fight. I don't know what he made for his last fight, but it's a possibility that Bud Crawford actually could make close upwards of $100 million in 2 fights, which is a great feat. And we know what Canelo Alvarez is getting paid, man. He's about to break the bank with Turkey. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. What do you think the real problem is with Turkey and Tank? Are we not? I mean, are we just looking too deep into this, or is there actually something behind the scenes that we don't know about?
No, I think Turkey is one of those guys who always get what he wants. He got the prince behind him, so he's used to getting what he want, and he thought he was able to buy Tank. And when he realized that he couldn't buy Tank, it took a hit to his ego, and so now he has a vendetta against Tank Davis because Tank Davis is not the typical guy. He's not going to just fall for any money when he's out here as one of the top paid fighters in all of boxing. He's like, I don't need your money. I can make my own money. I've been making money since I became a pay-per-view star. I don't need your money.
Well, let me ask you this, Free. Uh, we know that Tank want with Tank, right? We look at Tank and we say, okay, Tank, you're one of the faces of boxing. Me myself personally, I still feel like Canelo Alvarez is the king of pay-per-views and the boxing world right now. I think that he's still able, because of the Mexican fan base, to call the shots and do what he wants to do. When you look at a guy like Canelo Alvarez, him and Turkey kind of had a disagreement, but and he never closed the door. Like, he kept the door open. Like, he was willing to go over there and still, work with Turkey. With Tank, I don't know. I could be wrong. To me, it seems like at times, like I heard they asked Tank, what do you think about Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney? And he said, easy work. But when they asked him about Lomachenko, he said there will be a fight. Now, we know Devin Haney has already faced Lomachenko and came out victorious. At times, to me, it seems like Tank, I don't know if he has a problem with other black fighters. I could be wrong. I might be looking too deep into it. But what is it with these other fighters? Is it just competition and him just speaking like that? Because I know Tank's a smart individual, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to this boxing game. What do you think it is with Tank and Devin Haney and Shakur to make him say stuff like that?
No, I think he believed that they're easy work. He sparred both of them. He
Crush.
believed that they're easy work. So I'm not upset with what he said. Um, if he think that they easy work, he think they easy work. He has more respect for the skill that Loma possessed than he does for Devin and Shakur. Like I said, he sparred both of them, so he knows what type of fighter they are. He never sparred Loma, so he's looking at Loma as a skilled fighter, and he doesn't. He's going to have to figure Loma out with Devin and Shakur. He doesn't really have to figure them out. They are what they are. You know what they're going to do when they come in the ring. Loma is a different type of fighter. He can pivot. He can give you different angles. The only problem that Loma has, the only flaw that he can't fight on the back foot. So if when he gets in there with Tank Davis, Loma is going to have to come forward with Tank. But with Devin and Shakur, it doesn't matter what they do. Tank can pretty much do anything that they do better. So if he fighting those guys, he believes that they're easy work. So I don't have a problem what he believes. That's his opinion. If he think that they easy work, who am I to say that they not? He's been in the ring with both of them.
Let me ask you this: we've heard them say that Devin gave Tank that work in Spawn. We've heard that. I've seen some of the Spawn, and it looked like Tank was giving him work, and they said Devin came back. When it comes to Shakur, and I'm looking at what my brother Thomas Hill said here, he said, nah, he sees the inadequacies and less are present in Lomo's skill set. Plus, look how badly was Scambosis as opposed to Dev Shakur, pretty much in the same vein. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Crush. Please hit that like button if you're in here. Man, Thomas Hill, man, our brother Thomas Hill said a whole lot there. What I'm saying, because I know, free one thing about you, you know boxing, man. You know it. That's why a lot of times, man, I love to hear your points and views on things. Uh, when you look at Shakur Stevenson, don't you think that okay, Lomo brings a lot to the table, but I'm gonna say I definitely would believe Shakur Stevenson is a better defensive fighter than Lomo. I think he's more defensively sound. That's the one thing I give to him. Uh, do you think out of those three fights, if you had to say which one would, if you took Devin, Lomo, and who was it, Devin, Lomo, and Shakur, which would you think would be the harder fight for Tank?
Harder fight, and it depends on what you consider a harder fight. If you saying what would give Tank Davis the biggest challenge of
That,
how to figure
that,
them out,
yeah.
that would I would say it will probably be. I could see Loma, but I would say it will probably be between Loma and Devin.
Right.
I don't think Shakur is a hard fight for Tank at all.
Yo.
I think he's probably the easiest out of all of them. I
Mm,
think Shakur is the easiest because for one, Shakur has the brittle hands, and Shakur is too defensive. With a guy like Tank Davis, with you being defensive, you giving him chances to beat up your body because all you're gonna do is go into the high guard and try to stay away. So that's gonna be easy work for Tank Davis. With a guy like Devin, Devin is gonna fight back, and
yeah.
Tank is gonna have to maneuver his way around Devin's jab. With a guy like Loma, Loma possesses the skill level similar to what Tank possesses, far as the lateral movement and the pivoting and stuff like that. So I would say it will be between Loma and Devin. I think Shakur is the easiest one out of the bunch.
Okay. Put a shirt on. I would say if I had to pick, I definitely think that Shakur Devin to me, because of his size and physicality, when people don't look at it like that, Devin's size to me would be the problem for him at Tank. I think, Devin's a much bigger fighter. You said Thomas Hill said Lomo the most difficult style, contrast, but all pose a different difficulties. To be honest, the thing is, Tank IQ and skill set is vastly underrated. I was talking about that earlier. Thomas Hill, Mr. Thomas Hill, I was talking about that. I think Tank IQ is very underrated. I think people sleep on it. But if you ask me to pick and choose, I think, man, I don't know. If I had to, you know what I'm saying, pick, I think that Shakur could beat Lomo. I think him and Devin would be a difficult fight. And him and Tank, I got Tank. If anybody's about that. But it's hard. I mean, so it can go either way. But I got Shakur over Lomo if they fought right now. Would you favor Shakur over Lomo if they fought like in that fight? Who would you favor?
Um, I actually think at this point, with the issues that Shakur is facing, I think Loma could very well beat Shakur Stevenson.
Okay.
I thought before Shakur would beat Loma, but now with a guy with the problems that Shakur is having, Loma is one of those guys. If he doesn't have to worry about your power, he's going to come at you because, like I said, Loma doesn't fight well on the back foot. He fights better
Right.
on the front foot. So if he doesn't have to worry about your power,
Right.
he's going to stay on the front foot. So I think he can possibly beat Shakur because we all thought that Devin was going to run over Loma because of his size and his reach advantage. But that
Right.
was a tough fight for Devin. It literally came down to whoever you decide, whichever round you like for each fighter because there was a few rounds you can give clearly to Loma, a few rounds you can give clearly to Devin, but there was a lot of swing rounds in between. So
Yeah.
it was all about what you was looking for to where you gave each person those rounds. So I think Loma possessed something that Shakur doesn't possess. Loma has sneaky power as well. We saw he was the only one to be able to stop Cambosos. Devin was hitting Cambosos with everything in that second fight, and he couldn't stop him. We saw Tio have problems with Loma, got dropped by Loma. Now he did drop Loma, but he didn't stop him. And we all believe that Tio has more power than Loma had at 135, but Loma was the only one to be able to stop him. So
Yeah.
I think Loma is even though we don't like how Bob was giving Loma so much praise early in his career, Loma does possess skills that you could say, you know what, he's a good fighter. He is not somebody that you could sleep on. So I think Loma could possibly beat Shakur.
Yeah.
I don't know if he will, but he could upset Shakur.
Yeah. I agree with everything you just said there, Free. The only problem I have with Shakur is his hands being brittle. Now, what I'm thinking about, when I think about Shakur Stevenson, man, you know what I'm saying? I love Shakur as a fighter. I can't lie. I love Shakur as a fighter. I favor Tank over everybody. That's just my opinion. Now, my brother BVO, I want to ask you, your brother BVO, our brother BVO, said T.O. will beat the Braves off Tank. Tank beats everyone but T.O., maybe T.O., but we would never know. What do you think about that statement from Mr. BVO?
T.O. is not mentally strong enough to beat a Tank Davis.
Right.
T.O. he's Tank Davis could get into T.O. head if Cambosos was able
Thank you,
to
fam.
if Cambosos was able to beat T.O. and regardless of what people say how To was going on, that lets you know that he's not mentally strong enough to be able to beat a Tank Davis because we've seen Tank Davis have to deal with jail time. We've seen Tank Davis have to deal with his baby mother issue. We see Tank Davis have to deal with his promotional issues. He still was always at the top of the game when he came into the ring. So with that, I don't think To is mentally strong enough to beat Loma. Now, maybe if To is 100% on his game and he's at an A class level when he's fighting Tank Davis, maybe he possesses the skill set that can beat Tank. But I don't think To is mentally strong enough to beat a Tank Davis.
I agree. And Jim said, I can't lie. I was done with boxing about 10 years ago. Then I saw Lomo. He brought me back from the boxing dead. Man, I feel you on that. I feel you on that, Jim. When he says that, man, I feel you. Lomo has a real great skill set. We can't take that from him. The thing that I'm scared of with Lomo, he's been out of the ring for a little while. He has a lot going on. I don't know if he has the heart like he wants to be in there anymore. That's what I would say. I don't know if Lomo still wants to continue boxing. He made good money. He don't have to keep fighting. We know that. So that's the only question with Lomo. Does he still have that desire to get up every morning, train hard to beat one of those young guys like that with that type of skill set? It take a hell of a fighter to beat Lomo. But you know what I'm saying? Lomo might be the only reason that he loses because of what he has left in the tank. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you said that bad back. What he said? Hold on. That bad back too. Thomas Hill said that bad back too. Yeah, Lomo. You know what I'm saying? I don't. That's the thing I'm scared of with Lomo. I just fear that Lomo doesn't have the desire to want to fight anymore. The tank fight. Now, I think that's more or less Tank all those years. The Lomo wanted to fight Tank, and he feel like now Tank, you're looking at me like, oh, you want to fight me now? You think I'm done? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna give you the fight. I'm not gonna let you make another name off of me. Tank already has a name, but that's what I think with Lomo. Do you think that's the only reason Lomo turned down that fight with Tank is because of that?
Um, no, I think it's part of that. I don't think it's the only reason. I think Loma knows when he goes in there with Tank Davis, he got to be 100% because there's a great chance that he's going to get knocked out, and that's one thing we never seen Loma. We never seen Loma knocked out in all of the losses that he took. There were close losses. So with a guy like Tank Davis, you come in there and you not fully mentally ready, you not 100% healthy. You 9 times out of 10 you're gonna go to sleep. So I think that it's part of that, and I,
Yes.
I, I think that he might not be motivated to get to that point where he needs to be at to be able to fight a guy like Tank Davis. So I think that's one of the major reasons why he pulled out of the fight. And we heard from Barry Hunter in the interview that they did at the final press conference that Tank always wanted to fight Loma. It was just Bob and Floyd didn't come together to make the fight. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Barry Hunter would know better than I do. He's been around Tank since he was 9 years old. He's always been in Tank's camp, so he would know better than I do whether if Tank wanted that fight or not.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Thomas Hill said I thought he won and lost one. Ortiz got him, and Deb was fortunate to be awarded the decision. And yes, I definitely agree with that. And to let y'all know, me trying to remember the Devin Haney and Lomo fight, I think to me the body work that Devin done was the difference in the key in him winning that fight. And I had it early. I think I had it 5-1 early for Devin. I think I had Lomachenko with a lot of those middle rounds, but I did give it. I scored it 7-5 Devin Way. That's how I seen it play out. I had it 7-5. Free that fight. I can't remember exactly. I remember us being live. What did you score that fight, Free Devin and Lomo?
I had it a draw. I wasn't mad
Okay.
how anybody seen it. I had it as a draw. I didn't think neither one of the fighters did enough to clearly say who was a winner. I had it a draw.
So you had a draw, and I said this. I could agree with a draw. I didn't have a problem with that. If people seen that fight as a draw, that was a very good fight. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't be mad. You said the body work was definitely efficient, but I had it 3-3 in the first half. Okay, yeah, and I can see that. Like I said, Thomas Hill, a lot of those rounds were swing rounds, and it really was on. If you're looking at the fight, we cut the sound off us real hardcore boxing fans and boxing analogists or whatever you want to call us. We studied the sport, and I cut the sound off all the time. And I try to keep the judges or the commentators out of what I when I'm judging a fight. I don't never want to hear I hate hearing the commentators because the commentators, if you don't know no better and don't know boxing, they will have you looking at a fight, man, and have you looking sideways and thinking crazy about what you see. They'll have you
Yeah,
thinking that you really don't know nothing about boxing. And in a sense, I believe that we know more than most of the commentators. Most of those commentators, man, they're with somebody, so they're gonna ride that way. So I cut the sound off, and as I'm looking at the fight, I'm watching what Devin's doing. You know what I'm saying? Man, yeah, it was a whole lot of swing rounds earlier, Thomas. And you said I think 8 was a swing round. It definitely
yeah,
was. The
yeah.
last
I mean,
12th
I'm
round,
I'm gonna say this about the commentator. The commentators is supposed to give you the breakdown of the fight as the fight going on.
yeah,
What we seeing nowadays, we seeing a lot of fans of certain fighters, and they're swinging and persuading the public to look at a fight a different way. They want you
yes,
to see all of the shots that one fighter is landing and not really pay attention to what the other fighter is doing. And so
yep,
you'll hear them say a particular fighter name over and over. Oh, look at this shot. Oh, you see the shot
yes,
there. And then when they show the replay, they will only show mainly what that fighter has done. They won't really show what both fighters done in that
yep,
in that round. So it is because you got to think about it. These commentators are hired by the promotional company that's putting on the fight. So they going to, unless it's two fighters of the same promotional company. Uh, it's usually if it's a fighter from one promotion company versus a fighter from another promotion company, whichever promotion company is putting on a fight, they're going to pretty much favor their fighter. If it's two from the same promotion company, they're going to favor the more popular fighter or the fighter that's the bigger star.
Yeah.
So you'll see that with the commentator. That's why I don't listen to them.
Definitely, definitely, man. I agree with you. And JG said they sound like fanboys, and JG, I got to agree with you. But it's a little deeper than that, JG. It's like what Free was just saying. A lot of times they work for certain promotional companies, and it's almost in a sense they get paid. I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I want to always ask y'all this. This is something that's been on my mind for a long time, and it comes down to Timothy Bradley, Free, and I've always wanted to ask you this, and Andre Ward. I always thought Andre Ward was a better commentator, but I believe his honesty is what got him fired from the company. I believe him being too honest is what made them hold on to Tim Bradley. I've told Tim Bradley this 1,000 times, and we've had some back and forth. And I told him the only reason they kept you, Tim Bradley, is because you swing towards whatever way or whoever was fighting for ESPN or that company. And Andre Ward kept it real. Do you think that had something to do with Andre Ward? Let me pull BVO up. I'm sorry. With Andre Ward getting fired.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a main part of it, but I also you got to remember Andre Ward has never really been a company man. Andre
Yes.
Ward has mainly been about himself, and so Andre Ward is going to give his honest opinion. Even when we saw the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, Andre Ward was the one that was on national TV. Said, "Man, that's a long count." Everybody else act like they ain't see that it was a long count. So
Yes.
Andre Ward is going to give you his honest opinion, and he even said it about Shakur when Shakur had that bad outing. He was like, "That's not a good look for Shakur.
Yeah.
He's not
Yes.
doing what he's supposed to be doing." And
Yes, he
so
did.
Andre Ward has never been the one to sit there and go with what everybody else is saying. He's going to give you his honest opinion. So I think that had a major point to the reason why they got rid of him.
Let me tell BVO this. BVO, my brother. Me and Free are having an all-time great conversation here about, what I'm saying, the sport of boxing fighters, and we're keeping it 100% real. So you're on stage with us now, and you better not bring no foolery up here. Do you hear me, my brother?
Hey, because I'm black, you got a Puerto Rican up here, you want to talk crazy. I get it.
Say what?
But shout out to Beanie Free. I see Beanie Free be making some appearances every now and then, giving
Yeah.
some good information. But I'll say this.
Go
Thomas
ahead, bro.
here. All y'all Tank fans, stop glazing this dude.
Uh-oh.
This dude is not who y'all say he is. Y'all
Uh-oh.
talk all this junk. I'm gonna keep it 100%. Loma beat Tio. Loma beat Devin.
You didn't beat
Loma
that.
beat everybody. I mean, Loma at the end of the day has been robbed more, mistreated more than any fighter I've seen in modern history. So for
BVO.
somebody to get up here and say, "Oh, Tank is this," no, Tank can sell. He's Prince Asim. Stop trying to put him up there with real fighters like Tio, Devin the American Dream Haney, Lomachenko. These are real fighters. When you talk about a guy like Tank, you put him up there with Apollo Creed, Rocky, Sylvester Stallone. We don't put him up there with our greats, man. That's crazy. He ain't fought
Um,
nobody at 30.
Go
The
ahead,
only
Free.
the only problem that I have with what you said now, I believe Loma lost to Tio. Devin, like I said, I had it a draw, so I'm not mad. However,
I respect.
somebody said
I just thought Loma. The moment Loma started
He needs
throwing,
for it.
it was over. The moment he
but
started throwing, it was over.
he didn't throw anything for the first 6 rounds. So that's 6 rounds right there
Yeah.
that goes to
Yeah.
Tio.
No, no, and,
So
and I agree with that. But I'm talking
so
about if you look. I thought other than the championship round, you really see, and this is just me being objective. I thought Loma did enough to win. That's just
no,
Let,
me.
you can't think he did enough to
nah.
win because if the first 6 rounds you give to Tio and then the 12th round you give to Tio, that's 7 rounds. He
7
can't win.
rounds. That's 7
I'm
He
rounds.
talking
can't.
about the fact that he almost stopped him. If you
It
think
doesn't
about both
matter.
them
That's one.
fights, he
That's
almost
one round.
stopped Devin and he
Dog,
almost stopped Tio.
dog. That's one round, and Tio never hit the canvas. That's
Nope.
one round. You can't give him a 10-8 round that he never hit the canvas. So
Right.
that is one round that you give to him out of 12. If T.O. won 7, you only gave Loma 1.
Yes.
You only gave him 1. We're talking about 7 that we clearly know that he won. We know he won the 12. We know he won the first 7. I mean, the first 6. So that's
Yeah.
7 rounds right there that he clearly won. So if he won 7 rounds, he won 7-5. Even
Yeah.
if you give him
Yeah.
that one round that he almost stopped T.O., you only giving him 1 round.
I agree. I agree. Mr. Thomas Hill, man, what do you have to say about BBO, Mr. Thomas Hill?
I ain't really got to say nothing about BBO. BBO be caping. He know he be caping, man. I don't know if Tank abused one of his sisters, cousins, aunties, or whatever it was, but for some odd reason, he come with the shenanigans. You know damn well T.O. ain't about to abuse no Tank in the ring. We
Yeah,
know
yeah.
this. If Sandor Morton didn't get abused, if Jermaine Ortiz didn't get abused, if Steve Claggett didn't get abused, how the fudge he gonna abuse Tank, bro? So I just respectfully just ask the good brother BBO to taper back on the cape and just appreciate the fighter that T.O. is and hope that we get to see that fight in the ring.
Let me ask y'all a question, Mr. Thomas Hill, everybody. I'm
You
reading some
should be
comments
you
down
should
here.
be investigated by the
BBO,
FBI,
hold
bro.
on, BBO. BBO,
You really
let me ask
should.
you a
Shout out
question.
to Prize. You should
Let me ask you a question,
be in
BBO.
jail for what you doing, man. You getting out
BBO,
here lying, dog.
hold on, BBO. BBO, 1 second. Let me ask you a question. Because I'm reading the comments. Anybody that believes that Lomachenko won every round or almost every round against Devin Haney, let me know. Honest opinion. Honest opinion, no playing or nothing.
He
The
didn't win
No.
every round at all. It was a tight. It was a draw.
It
It
was
was
a
either a
tight fight.
draw
If
or
you
give
if
it to
you
Loma.
if
To
you
me,
watched that fight and said that you thought that Lomachenko won every round, you don't like Devin Haney or won close to every round. It was not
No.
that. I had
Like I
Devin
said,
Haney up 5 rounds to 1, and he was doing great early. I had what Thomas Hill said made the most sense. 7, 9, I think what was it? 7, 9, and 11. I definitely gave to Lomachenko. I'm gonna keep it real. The 12th round, Devin Haney, I gave it to him. I scored at 7-5. You can score the draw or whatever. But we are not going to play with Devin Haney's name and act like that was not a competitive fight, and you cannot give it to him.
see, I can't get mad at nobody that say Devin won. I can't get mad at nobody that say Loma won because I had it a draw. It was a close fight. It could have
I
went either
don't
way.
care what. This is another
Me,
thing. I'm sorry, Crawford's loaded gloves. I'm gonna tell you this right here. I don't have to rewrite history because history books say Devin Haney won.
Yeah,
The history books say Devin Haney won. So you can't rewrite history books. Now, if I rewrote the history book, I would give Lomachenko the win.
I
What
would
I'm
too.
telling you is, I don't be caring what certain people say. I feel like
no,
my eye is just as good as theirs. I don't care
yeah,
because Keyshawn Davis or somebody that hates
but
on Devin Haney said Lomachenko won. I heard Turnbull Crawford said it was a great fight. I listened to what he had to say. You could score.
my
He
whole
also said you could score it either way. He
but
favored
my
Lomo.
my whole thing is the judges that they had judging that fight has never scored a fight against Loma. They've always had Loma winning every fight they ever scored against them.
Yep,
They always had Loma winning. This is the first fight that they had Loma losing. So
yep,
I can't say that they robbed Loma because they normally vote for Loma. And you can't say that it was Fitz because Devin was the one that was leaving Top Rank. If anybody
yeah.
gonna have the fight Fitz, it's gonna be Fitz for Loma. They want to
Thank you.
keep the belts in house, not let them
Thank
leave.
Yeah. And like I
But
said, I don't always care what Crawford and them say. We know how boxers hate on each other. We know that it's up to you to be objective. You got to
fact,
have your own eye. Stop listening to everything a fighter say about another fighter. Be your
fact,
own man. This is what I got a problem with. Not real Tank fans, the ones that know boxing, but certain Tank fans and channels that go above and beyond with everything. Like everything Tank said is the end all be all type of conversations. I get tired of that. Have your own judgment. Have your own eye. Be your own man. Make your own decision on how you see a fight play out. If you feel like that Lomachenko won, I have no problem with that. I agree that it was a great fight, and it could be scored either way. But that ain't nobody alive gonna tell me that I watched that fight and that
You,
fight was a wash or a blowout.
I'm
You
I'm
can't
gonna
tell
tell you,
me
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you this. To Crawford loaded gloves.
Boosie.
You can't say everyone watched that fight live had Loma dominated
Nope.
because we didn't have it dominated. So we're
So
part of that
didn't.
everyone. So you can't say everyone that watched it said that he had it, he dominated. Now there's people that thought that Devin won. There's people that thought that Loma won.
Yeah.
So I mean, what that tells you is that fight was a draw, like
So,
how I scored it.
Yeah, that was a
I
I can
draw.
go with
scored it
that.
a draw.
I
But
would
hold on, let me ask y'all a
agree
question.
with that, but
Hey, Free, BBO, who on this stage think Boosie know more about boxing than either one of us? Anybody? Boosie.
who know more
Okay.
about boxing?
Boosie.
No,
Little
Bo-
Boosie.
Boozy,
little
he's a
Boosie.
casual.
Yeah.
That
Little
Boozy,
Boosie.
Boozy's a casual. He only watch big fights. He don't watch
That's it.
boxing. He don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
how to score boxing matchups. He just
No.
go by what he see, and he'll see one person get dominated in a round, and he'll say, "Oh, he won."
Well,
No, that's not
well,
how it is. That's one round.
one way
I'll just
to
say this: if you look at the fight, I get what Puerto Rican Free is saying, but I think one thing that worked against Devin is two things: his hair, because every time Loma punched him, his hair went all over the place,
Yeah.
and sometimes that can influence people when they see your hair going all over the place. And number two, Devin was way too big for Loma. He kept telling him audibly, you can hear him saying, "You too small, you too
Mm.
small." You heard him say that. I'll put it like this, and then you seen him get in the ring with Cambosa's even older and stop him.
Yeah.
He
I'm
said, "Y'all,
telling you,
y'all got,
when you
you got
put Loma in
excuses.
there with
There
them
is no
other guys
excuses."
his size, he beats them to death.
No,
Yeah.
there is no excuses because obviously you don't know who you're talking to. There is
No, you
no
don't.
excuses.
yo,
So like I told you, I didn't have a problem. The people that had Loma winning, I
How
didn't
can
have
you
a
have
problem. The people that have
excuses?
Devin winning.
Let me ask y'all a
So
question. I'm sorry,
uh,
Free. You can't have excuses when Devin Haney won. It don't make sense. You gotta listen, man. Some people just like to talk. Make it
right,
make sense. If
the
I
only
win the
excuses
fight,
would be for Loma.
that's it. The excuses for him. He
I, I
lost.
I like to interject something too, bro. I don't like to go back and forth with people because people they fanboys and they
You
got their
right.
own
You right.
preference and
My
things
fault.
like that for the people who they fight and root for, and they will root heavy against somebody that is opposed to that person, and that's crazy, especially with them all being brothers. I really got a
Oh my
problem with
God.
doing that
For
to black
real.
folks. But I'll
Yeah.
say this to cut everything to the chase, bro. Like in the fight, D Free said he had a draw. I could clearly see a draw.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. For me, I seen people say I had Devin Haney 9-3.
Yeah.
Anybody, and I mean anybody that had Devin 9-3 really
Crazy.
don't like basketball. Yeah. Cause I could
Crazy.
clearly see more rounds being clear for Loma than it was for Devin. I thought Devin had 3 clear rounds. I thought he was given swing rounds. Swing rounds could go either way.
Yeah.
I agree. Optics played a huge part, and I agree with you said, CDK, because it's not a big part of his game. Body punches did, but if we're looking at body punches, no way did he land more body punches than Loma
Yeah.
landed total punches. I agree with BVO said. He did say you were too small leading up to the fight. He
Mm-hmm.
kept saying it. But the smaller man was backing the bigger man up all night long, it seemed like. And on top of that, they said he was dirty. And honestly, the dirt that looked like happened was a few elbows that came from Devin Haney. Bro, it was a close fight, no matter how you look at it.
Yes, it was. It was. It was.
If you give it to Devin, I'm not mad, bro. If you give it to Loma, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
The fact that he was fighting the fight, well deplenished of certain like hydration and nutrients in his body, to give the man that type of a fight, because Loma's no joke. That was impressive. So, you know, I'm not mad at it. I was shocked because that is your boy Bob's favorite fighter.
Yes, it is.
On and that's his boy, loyal to the soil. I thought if anybody was gonna get robbed, it would have been Devin. Devin didn't get robbed. He was awarded the decision, and I'm fine with it. He put on a great performance because I didn't see him ever throwing body punches in a fight. Yet he
Me.
did it. That's adjusting to
Let,
whatever it
let,
is.
let me say this. If y'all wanna go according to Copybox, I'm just going, and we know Copybox is all subjective, but I'm
Yeah,
just gonna go according to Copybox. Devin Haney jabs. He threw 188. He landed one. Loma threw 250. Didn't land none.
Jabs?
I'm sorry. Devin Haney threw 188. He landed 20. One of them to the body. Loma threw 250, landed 29, none to the body. Power shot. Devin Haney threw 217, landed 90, 49 to the body. Loma threw 314, landed 95, 9 to the body. When you go to total punches, Devin Haney threw 405, 110 landed, and 50 of them were to the body. Loma Cinco threw 564, 124 landed, 9 to the body. So it's all about what
What you
what
prefer?
effective punches that are you looking at. If those Copybox numbers are true, the more effective punches was the punches that Devin landed.
yeah,
Now Loma landed some good punches too, but they looking at the more effective punches, which was the power shot. And Devin clearly outlanded him in the power shot to the body. He outlanded him 49-9 to the
yeah,
body.
yeah. That's
And
what
what
I
was
was
the
looking at.
overall again for power
It was
punches?
the total was 405, 110 landed for Devin, and 564, 124 landed for Loma. So Loma threw 159 more punches and only landed 14 more.
Yeah, and I think that people like when they hate Devin Haney, and I say it all the time, man. I really hate. I'm so disappointed in our brothers, man, because we
For
are the
sure.
hardest. When it comes to us, man, like it be people that look just like us, and they hate us more than anything, and that's more what I have a problem with at times. Like
Yeah.
we don't support our brothers like everybody else support theirs.
We look
We
we
see
pray
how they get. Yeah, it don't make sense, man, and we
we
get that
pray
all
on
the
their
time.
downfall, CDK. Like
Yeah.
we really, really hope they don't do well.
Yep.
We
And
hope.
and they you can tell them you can argue till you blue in the face with somebody that look just like you, and they'll never understand where you're coming from. It doesn't matter what you say; they're not gonna never see it the way that they supposed to see it. They're gonna always be the crab in the barrel. Whatever mentality, it's not gonna never get better. So we know, you know what I'm saying. It was a great fight between Devin and Lomo. However, anybody had to score it. If you had it scored, Lomo winning. If you had the draw, if you had Devin winning, you couldn't be wrong. But neither one of those guys got dominated. It was a great fight. There's no way possible anybody, unless you just a casual fan, could think that either guy got dominated. There's no way you can sit down in front of the TV and say anybody got dominated in that fight. I could sit my 6-year-old son in front of the TV right now and let him watch that fight, and he's not gonna be able to tell you who won that fight. That's how good of a fight it was. Now, my son
Yeah,
can also sit down in front of the TV and tell you when he sees somebody get beat to death. So you understand what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
when somebody
Yeah.
says that, I can't take you seriously because there's no way possible unless you just hate Devin Haney. You think Devin Haney got dominated in that fight? You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
But
JG, we are on worst enemy.
but to get back to the main point that we was talking about,
Yeah,
I don't think that Tank don't want to fight these guys. I think he want to fight all of them. What I think is more of is how bad do these other guys want to fight?
That's
Because
a
like I
fact.
said, out of everybody that Tank Davis that we wanted him to fight, the only person that ever pushed for the fight for Tank Davis was Ryan Garcia. That
mm-hmm.
man, he went against his own promotional company. He said, "No, I want this fight," and he went to the daggone table with his own lawyer because Oscar wasn't backing him for the fight. So you gotta say how bad do these other guys want to fight? We heard Shakur say he don't want to fight Tank Davis until his hand is fully healed. As we also heard from his grandfather that his hand hasn't been fully healed in the last 7, now 8 fights. So it's all about how bad do these other guys really want to fight.
Yeah.
You know what's so
I
crazy
agree.
about
Go
this
ahead, go
though?
ahead, go ahead, BBO.
This is the thing that's so crazy about this. He bring us a fight with Lamont Roach, who 130. I get it. He got ducked. He got ducked. It's flat out. But dog, if you get ducked, give us a hard fight, man. Fight Jack. If he would have fought Jack Catterall at 140, I guarantee nobody would have said nothing.
Yes, they
Fight
would have.
somebody
Yes,
tough,
they would
man,
have.
like you did with Barrios.
No, they would
He
have said,
fought.
"Why are you
Listen,
going?"
let me finish
They
what I'm
would have
saying.
said, "They
He
would have said,
couldn't
why you
find
going up to
nobody.
fight Jack
Let me
Catterall?"
finish what I'm saying. He couldn't find nobody, so he got Barrios. Go do that again. Go find
That's
somebody tough again.
that's
If you
not
can't
true,
get a fight,
BBO.
go get another tough one.
That's not true, BBO. That's not why he fought Barrio. They had already had that fight lined up for him to fight after he had fought. Who was the dude that he had fought? Was it Gamboa that he had just fought?
I'm thinking before. I'm trying to remember, but I think you're right.
I
I
think
have to
I
look
think
at
it was Gamboa that he had just fought. Yeah, it was after the Gamboa fight. They already had Barrios lined up because remember Leonard Ellaby and Floyd said Tank Davis next fight will be a champion. We all thinking, oh, he's gonna fight Devin or Tio, and it came to find out he was fighting Mario Barrio. They had already had that fight lined up because it was an in-house fight. He was on PBC. He was on the undercard of Gamboa versus Tank Davis. They already had the fight lined up. But
I
if
mean,
he would have went
I
up
feel
to
what
if
you're
he would have
saying.
went up to 140 and fought Jack Catterall, they would have said, why is he fighting Jack Catterall? Why is he not fighting Tio? Why is he not fighting El Rayo? Why is he not fighting Devin Haney? Why is he not fighting those other big name guys? Jack
Okay.
Catterall is not a big name. They would have downplayed the fight the same way they downplaying the Lamont Rose fight because Jack Catterall is not somebody anybody checking for.
If I may
Oh,
interject,
Santa Cruz, that's what it was. Santa Cruz.
it
It
was
was
at the Santa Cruz. Yeah, I was just
Okay.
about to say. I was about to say it was at the
Santa
Santa
Cruz.
Cruz. But
I knew
let
it
me
was a
interject.
champion that he had just fought. I knew it was a
Yeah,
champion.
yeah. And now Santa Cruz is a nobody because Tank beat him. So this is what I want to
What?
say, and I
Man, he going to
I
the Hall of
agree.
Fame. Stop the cap, man. He going to the Hall of
Oh,
Fame. Stop.
But
he.
I'm saying let them tell it. Santa
Yeah.
Cruz is a nobody.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they say he pulled Santa Cruz up. BBO, you know they say this. They have said it on your panel. He had to pull him up. He pulled up another little fighter. He went down
Yeah.
and he fought for his belt, but he pulled him up. Anything to Kank to say that Kank ain't who he is. And I agree with what you said. He needs to find better opponents that they will give him some depth. Now, here's the cold part about that. When he beats Shakur, when he beats Devin, when he beats Tio, when he beats Keyshawn Davis, when he beats Lomachenko, guess what they're going to say? Oh, he either waited out one, it was too late, they were overrated. I'm going to tell you why. He made the fight for Loma. Loma back hurting. He really not interested in fighting. So be it. Whatever it was, he pulled out. The first person they called, Shakur Stevenson. Hey, we had a fight lined up with Loma. We looking to replace that fight, and you be the best person we can get to play. Fight with. Do you want to do that? We're looking for that to replace that fight. Whatever happened, it was no. And then we come to find out that even Shakur himself said, I don't want to fight Tank until my hands are right, without my hands being right. And like to
I've been
add
saying it for
context
a
to that.
while, man. He never going to fight. Shakur never wanted to fight Tank or Devin.
But
Never
you
wanted
Hey,
to
said
let
El
fight
me ask
either
Rayo.
you.
one.
You
Hey,
said El
BBO,
Rayo. You
BBO.
said
Let
El
me ask y'all
Rayo.
a question though. Let me ask y'all a question. Once we know that in that situation, Shakur Stevenson had wanted a 2-fight deal. Now, this is me personally. How I feel about that. If I want 2 fights, right? I say I want a 2-fight deal, and you offer me one. Is that ducking or is that me trying to do what's best for my career? I'm just
That's
asking. Like, how
ducking.
do y'all see that?
That's ducking.
Me personally, I see it as doing what's best for
Me too.
Shakur's career. And I'm
I'm
gonna say it like
gonna tell you why it's ducking, because you can't say this is the biggest fight of your career,
I hear that.
and and this is the Michael Jordan versus LeBron. This is the Super Bowl of boxing, and then you get the fight offered to you, and you say, "Nah, I want a multi-fight deal. I don't want just one fight with Tank Davis." Who else do you want to fight on PBC?
Well,
I hear you.
could have
Oh,
been
go
a
ahead,
rematch,
CJ.
Free. Could have been a rematch. He
Could
could
have
have wanted
been.
the rematch
He
clause.
could, but he didn't negotiate that because
Hold
when
on,
you
but
say
that's what he was
when you
trying to
no, but
negotiate. He was
listen
trying.
what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Free.
When they offer you a 1-fight deal, you say, yeah, I take that 1 fight,
Mm.
but I want a rematch if I lose. The same thing happened with EJ and Bud. EJ said, I don't want a rematch. Bud said, I want a rematch. EJ said,
Yeah.
all right, go ahead, give him the rematch. Go ahead, give him the rematch.
Like,
I want the fight.
Yeah,
Give him the
I
rematch.
agree with you, Free, and you're right on everything you're saying. I just feel like that people are looking a little too deep into it when it comes to. I truly believe Shakur was looking out for his career. We may look at it and being Duggan, and we may assume that it was Duggan, but he was leaving Top Rank. I believe he thought like, hey man, give me 2 fights. Let me get 2 fights. And I know what you're saying, Free. I agree with you. I agree with
No,
you.
No, but
CDK.
you can't say that, TDK, because his words was he didn't want to be tied down to nobody.
No, he said 2 fights though.
No, he
CDK.
said he didn't want to be.
Yeah.
He said he didn't want to be tied down to nobody.
CDK.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say by prefacing this. 2 things can be right at the same time.
Definitely.
Everything D Free is saying is absolutely spot on.
Yes.
And I believe what you're saying is spot on. I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah.
One of my favorite fighters, one person I rock with heavy, Errol Spence. When the last time he been in the ring, bro?
Man, been a long time.
And if he wasn't really tied in with Al Heyman, he probably would be led out to the pastures and slaughtered because of one fight where he really wasn't right in the fight going into it, and he got bamboozled. You think about this. Shakur being at his very best with everything perfect, it's a still possibility that he can get dog walked in that fight with Tank.
Definitely.
Now you add in the factor that, hey, I can't really punch like I want to.
Man, hey, you're right. Let me ask y'all a question, cause y'all know this, and I think a lot of fans they don't know this, but we know not to listen. We know not to listen to Stephen Espinosa. How you say his name, Espinosa, whatever. We know not to
Yes,
listen to him. Yeah, we know that we've heard from different fighters that he doesn't always tell the truth, that he takes sides in situations. So when he reports on anything, I don't pay attention to nothing he says. I go off what I'm hearing from the fighters and other people behind the scenes, and we've heard different things. So I don't pay no attention to that. But at the end of the day, definitely Free. I feel like the next fight has to be the fight they Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. They got to make this happen by any means necessary.
they're not going to make it. Shakur is fighting. He's trying to fight Williams to pay the net. They're not making it.
Okay.
So you can count him.
But this is what I say to that though. Damn, who he say he got? If I'm Tank, because
Right.
like CDK was saying before, in the streets. I'm just saying in the streets. When people call you out, what do? You ignore that ish, or do you step to it?
Right.
You step to it. I hear what you about. I know what you say because I agree with you. But if I'm Tank, because you've been talking on my name so much, the thing that Shakur did with Kid Austin really didn't expect to get that fight.
Nope.
I'm putting full court. It's time for me and my team. After he do the fight, when he's smiling as he talking after the fight, it's time for me and my team to put the rumors to bed. We want Shakur Stevenson next. That's all I want to hear out of his mouth. And we gonna send him a contract. So then it can be put on record that you are the next target on my hit list. So now
I'm
don't
gonna tell you like this. I really don't care if he fights Shakur or not. I really don't care. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I don't see nobody putting the pressure on Shakur and Keyshawn to fight.
No,
I don't see nobody.
Too.
I don't see nobody putting the pressure on those 2 guys to fight. So if he doesn't fight Shakur next, I'm not gonna be mad at him. I'd rather him go fight Keyshawn next.
But let me ask you a question though.
Go fight Keyshawn next.
I'm not big on that. I mean, and the reason I say this right here, I don't have a problem. I actually think that fight's gonna happen more than others do. I think Keyshawn and Shakur are gonna fight because I think Turkey's gonna be the one to make it happen. I think the money's gonna be too much on the table. I think it's gonna be a fight that Turkey knows people want to see, that they say won't happen. I think it's gonna happen because I heard little comments here and there between both those guys. So I'm okay with that. But I think for Tank is 30, 31 years old. It's starting to become that now never situation where I want to see you take these guys out in your prime, because right now I feel like you're the best, and I feel like, man, let's go ahead and get them out the way. Don't give them an opportunity to catch you at 80%. Let them get you at 100. That's how I look at it. I think at 100% though, now one of those guys have a chance with Javante Tank Davis. I believe that he is the best right now.
Those guys know that they ain't got no chance. That's why they're not pushing for it. They'll
That-
speak about his name when he got a fight lined up or when they got a fight lined up. They'll speak on his name when they ain't got no. Matter of fact, when have you heard Keyshawn say? When have you heard Keyshawn say anything about Tank Davis since his fight ended?
Oh, I agree with you. He's got real quiet. You know what I'm saying?
Since when he had a fight lined up. Oh, I fight Tank Davis. I want to fight Tank Davis. Man, I want to fight him. He been faking out the fans for too long. I want to fight Tank Davis. Now
Rich,
that you ain't got no fight,
hold on 1 second.
Keyshawn is a goat.
1 second. Mr. Rich, I am one of the Tank biggest critics. Everybody knows that. But I'm one of those guys that can call it even and call it fair. You can go look at some of my other videos and I go in on Tank for what you're saying. So with everything you're saying, you're not going to get an argument out of me. You're saying we got to stop giving Tank passes. I agree. Or accept Tank as a businessman and stop expecting him to be great. He's never showed you he wants to be great. And I'm cool with it. Now, I can't agree with that. I think that Tank does want to be great. I think this is my problem with it too, Rich. I think that it ain't the Tank don't believe in him. I have a problem sometimes with the promoters that's got him and his trainers. I feel like they have more to do with Tank not taking some of these fights than he actually does. Because like I'm gonna keep saying it.
Not the trainers.
Promoters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Too Rich. I feel like Too Rich that they don't believe in Tank like we do. The promoters.
But, I mean, I'm gonna tell you like this. But since Tank Davis been his own promoter, he's been trying to get the fights that we want to see him get.
Right. But I still feel like Al Heyman is protecting his bag.
No, he's not. He's not, because he tried to make the Loma fight. He tried to make the Shakur fight.
Listen, the Lomo fight, Al Heyman knows like I know. Tank
he tried to make that Ryo fight.
He's not the same fighter. He's not the same fighter.
I don't care. That's a fight that the fans want to see him in.
We keeping it real now. We keeping it real. Tank Davis gonna beat Lomachenko in my home.
He's gonna beat all of them.
Okay, I got him beating all of them. Tommy, you exactly right, brother. I got him beating them all. But I would hurry up and snatch Lomo. I know Lomo on the back end of his career. He's a big name.
You tell me who has a better chance of beating Tank Davis, Loma or Keyshawn Davis?
Keyshawn Davis to me.
Loma. Keyshawn is not experienced enough.
I'm gonna tell y'all this right here. I'm
not experienced enough.
And mark my words, this is gonna happen. And y'all gonna remember that I said this. CDK.
I'm gonna remember CDK.
Listen to this. Keyshawn Davis is gonna get that Lomachenko fight, and he's gonna beat Lomachenko.
I really hope so.
He's gonna beat Lomachenko.
I'm gonna tell you why all of y'all are wrong by saying
Keyshawn. Pass another guard.
I'm gonna tell you why all of y'all are wrong about saying Keyshawn. Keyshawn don't even see the flaws that he has in his own game.
I can agree with that. Free, hold on.
I know you can't see
Keyshawn Davis. Listen, I don't have Keyshawn Davis beating Tank. This is the thing.
I'm gonna tell you the reason why I think Loma, because I think Loma is smart enough to be able to maneuver for 12 rounds. I think he's smart enough to be able to maneuver for 12 rounds. Against Tank.
Hold on. He's not making. I'm telling you now. I'm saying this too. He's not making the bail. He's not making it to the 12th round against Tank.
I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying he has a better chance of making it to the bail than Keyshawn does.
Oh, you know why Keyshawn gonna get knocked out? I keep it real. Keyshawn ego and confidence is gonna get in the way, and he think that he got the power the Tank got, and he don't, and he gonna find himself in a bad situation. And you're right, Free. We on the same page, Free.
CDK. I'm gonna say this, bro, because I like Keyshawn too. I like the way he's going about things. I don't like the calling out for clout, though. I really don't. I never did. And to a lot of people's point, because of people like Too Rich, I want whoever you guys think Tank can't beat or is afraid of, I want that fight next. And all these people who saying Tank ducking and running and really scared and gonna lose, put your houses up, man. Put your houses up on that, dog. You can stand to win a whole lot, because I guarantee you, Tank gonna be a heavy favorite. And I guarantee you, they getting sparked just like 93 tonight will be 94% of everybody else who has fought Tank Davis, the dude is elite. Now, I will say this one more time because I agree with everything both of you guys are saying. Shakur gonna get that Loma fight for one, because Bob ain't trying to let it go. The only way he don't get it is if he try to keep two separate champions on his monitor, because Shakur no
Yeah.
longer there. So he might try to keep that belt open for people so they can make fights and lure talent there. But if it is happening, it will happen, and Shakur will get that fight. I mean not Shakur, but
Keyshawn.
Keyshawn to get that fight. It'll be a great fight. I think the experience that Loma has, because to me, I see Loma in the same vein as I see Tank. Truly a 130 or less fighter fighting up at 35 against bigger people. The only difference between Tank and Loma is the willingness to get hit and who can bang hard. And
Yes.
that separates Tank from anything, because he will exchange knowing that if I trade mines, nigga, you really about to feel me.
Yeah.
And he don't feel that way. Now, it takes him a while. And the other thing about Tank, he's smart. Like, hey, Ryan Garcia knocking the Negroes out. I'm not just going to jump up in there.
No.
Rolly Ramirez, man, that nigga hit like a mule. I'm not just jumping up in there. But him, Pitbull, all the people that can hit people hard, they done all got solid hits on him. And once they felt that, oh, this is what
Hey.
it is.
Hey,
It's
Free. And Thomas, this is what I was gonna tell y'all. Styles make fights. We know that. We know, and this is what I look at when I see those fights happening. With Tank and Keyshawn, this might be crazy to y'all. I think Tank get Keyshawn out of there earlier because Keyshawn believes in his power and he's gonna take chances. But I believe Keyshawn beats Lomachenko, who will have a better chance of getting Tank, because Lomachenko is a very smaller fighter. He's a true 130-pound fighter, and I believe the physicality of Keyshawn Davis will be too much for him. That's the difference. But I believe that he has a better shot against Tank because of the styles of the fights, and we know the styles can make fights. That's the difference. I think that Keyshawn Davis will beat Lomachenko, but I think Tank will have a harder time with Lomachenko, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not 100% sold that Keyshawn will beat Loma.
I'm not
Okay,
either.
I feel that.
I think he can beat Loma, but
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sold that he will beat Loma.
What?
Hey,
Wow. Hold on one second, y'all. Rest in peace, Angie Stone just reported, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, man. JG just put it in the comments. Rest
What?
in peace, Angie
Oh
Stone.
wow.
Man.
Oh
that-
my God.
Wow. Man. That just hit me right there, Angie Stone, man.
You want to do a 10 count?
Definitely.
Yeah, she just passed away today.
Let's give her a moment of silence, please, for Angie Stone. Man, that's crazy. Angie Stone was a beautiful talent, beautiful voice, you know what I'm saying? Multi-talented, and that right there is gonna be a big loss, man. So
Yeah,
shout out
she
to
just
her,
passed.
my condolences to her family.
She just passed away today at 63 years old. It's I'm trying to see what it said. What
How old,
happened?
Free?
63.
63.
Man,
I'm trying to see what was the cause of death.
Okay.
I don't see. Oh, she died in a car accident. She died in a
Oh,
car
Oh,
accident.
wow. Man.
oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, she died
Condolences
in
to
a
her
car accident.
family, bro.
Definitely, man.
Damn, man, that puts a damper on the moment right now, bro. Because
It
I had a
really do,
point to
man.
make.
Man,
I had a
it really
point to
do.
make.
Mm.
Man, I'm gonna try to move it forward though, man.
Go
I
ahead, bro.
agree with I agree with what you said, bro. I think that styles do make fights, and Keyshawn definitely can beat Loma. Hell, Keyshawn can beat Tank. Anyone can beat another person on any given night, bro. I seen
Yeah,
Buster Douglas beat Tyson.
yeah,
So it's a coinage that we use because of that. Whenever we play a game or we outside playing games and one team win and then they lose, like if they win the big deal and then they lose the next go, we call it you Buster Douglas the situation. You
yeah.
Buster Douglas a moment. You a Buster Douglas. But that being said, man, I think that Loma, even though he is advanced in age, his skill set and his motion ain't compromised that much.
No,
and
It
it's great. So it'll be a hard fight for anybody that gets in the ring with Loma. And Kambosos showed that. This is the one thing that I will say about him, because you say here, CDK. If I got you on the show, right?
yeah.
And you talking your talk about you nice and how people bet they better get me now because they know I'm about to get up out of here and I'm a problem. And then somebody on that show that's interviewing say, "Eh, this person ain't worried about you. In fact, this person right here will take you out by 7. You gonna laugh about that
Nah, I ain't laughing about that.
at all? Ain't none of that. It's funny to you, right?
Never.
That was Keyshawn
I
on
seen
the
that.
Wallow and Gilly show.
I seen that.
That right there let me know right here he don't fully believe that he that dude that's gonna
And
take
you
him.
know what? I agree with you, Thomas Hill, man. That was a very good point because I thought the same thing when I seen it. You know what I'm saying? I
Facts.
watched that live. I felt like Keyshawn Davis doesn't really have the confidence in himself that he betrays when it comes to that fight with Tank. I heard what he had to say. I seen how he was moving and he allowed. Listen, I don't care what nobody say. I'm not gonna allow you to sit there and look me in my face and tell me another man gonna knock me out by 7 rounds. You're not
And
telling me
clown
that.
it. And clown it too.
Yeah. It's not gonna work.
Nah, not at all. Not no Marvin Hagler wouldn't have went
Hey,
for that.
Sports Talk Nation, I'm gonna ask y'all. Too Rich want to come to the stage. Y'all want me to bring him on stage?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
What's good, sir?
Hey, what's going on, CDK? What's up, Thomas Hill? I don't know the other fella. What's going on, though?
That's
Big
my
Free, man.
partner
What's
What's
right
good,
good?
there.
bro?
Too rich.
Okay. Hey, man, enjoying the conversation, man. I just wanted to throw a quick input on it. From my point of view,
Yes,
I
sir.
don't fault any of these other guys for not making the Tank fight. To me, it's all on the Tank and the PBC because if Tank wants the fight, they're gonna give him the fight. We saw Schofield. De La Hoya didn't want Schofield to take that fight, but when the fighter wants the fight get made. We saw Benavidez. They wanted him to fight Jesse Hart. He said no. He wanted
Yeah.
Morrell. When the fighter wants the fight gets made. So the barrier in between these fights is normally the PBC, which I think they more dealing with matchmaking. You gotta understand, they're still giving them a list. I heard Calvin Ford say yesterday, they gave us a list. Monk Roach was on the list. So I get it from the PBC standpoint as a business. They're making fights for their fighter. Top Rank is making fights for their fighter. So for them to make that cross promotion type of fight, the fighter gonna have to demand it, or you got to bring in a third party. The third party is gonna be Turkey. If Turkey come in with the bag, Tank finna fight a real fight. He's going to be. So the fight can get made. We can't act like the fight can't get made. It's just that the PBC want to make the fight on their terms, and that's putting a barrier in between the fights. Well, if Turkey come in and just put the bag out there, that fight will get made. But now Tank is fighting tonight. Shakur fought last week. Let the PBC make the fight. Eddie Hearn them say they ready to make the fight. Let PBC let's not use Shakur hand as an excuse. Let's PBC put pressure on Shakur to make the fight and force him to duck if it's a duck.
Well, he
Hey,
already ducked. He said he's not
Hey,
going to fight him until his hand is 100%
hey.
healed. He already
But
ducked.
that's not
Hold
where the
on.
contract involved. That's not where the money involved. Everybody say they hurt, but when the money get involved, things change.
Too Rich. So basically, you saying what I've been saying. You kind of feel like it's the promoters that are holding back a lot of these fights with Tank.
Exactly. I can tell you why. You got to think in terms of matchmaking. It's just not a coincidence that the fights that are not getting made is the fights that we as fans know are the toughest fights. It's the fights that we want to see to answer the question. And these are just Shakur, the Devins. Keyshawn fairly new, but I would keep it on the Shakur, Devin, and T.O. type. These are bad style matchups for Tank. These would be the toughest matchups. Let's say that. They would be the toughest matchups. So it's no accident. Those are the fights that's not getting made. You feel me? We heard Calvin Ford say he don't like the fight for Shakur because the way he move around. Even Barry Hunter hinted to something like this, that Lomachenko fight would be better, stylistically. They kind of play the excitement role. We don't care about no excitement. We want to see him go in there and step on him, or if he can step on him.
The
So
only problem I
just
have with what you're saying is, you said you don't want to put it on the other fighters. Well, when Ryan was the other fighter, he pushed for the fight, and that fight got made. He went
That's just
against his
about to go there,
promoter.
G.
He went against his promoter and got the fight made.
But yeah,
So
that's after
it
Tank was pressing for the fight though. So I'm saying, if,
no. It was always Ryan said he wanted that fight.
But let
Ryan
me
was
ask
the
y'all a
one that
question.
called out. Ryan was the one that called out Tank Davis 2 years prior. The only reason why they didn't fight is because Ryan
Free.
pulled out and said he had a fight with
I
Manny
remember that.
Pacquiao. It
I
was
remember that.
Ryan.
Free. But let me ask
CDK,
y'all.
can I?
Let me ask you a question. Free. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me ask you a question. Free. Now, Free, you at 135-pound weight class, you are the name. You knocking out everybody. Thomas Hill, man, is the guy that people keep talking about. They want to see the fight. You're the A side, though. You are the face of boxing, or one of the faces of boxing. When do you say, hey, man, you know what? It don't matter if he pushing for the fight. I want the fight. I want to show the people and show the fans who I really am. I know what I can do. So guess what I'm gonna do? Turkey, I don't get along with you. Whoever, man, get on the phone, make this fight happen. It's time. It's time. No
Well,
more playing games. I don't care if his hands ready. Either he want to fight now or he don't want to fight at all. But I'm gonna be the
we
forefront of pushing for this
we
fight because I
already
want
seen
you to know.
him do that.
facts,
We already seen
facts.
him
No,
do
I'm saying
that.
we've heard a little bit. Shakur said, make it make sense. Show me a contract. I haven't seen a contract. Send the contract.
I'm gonna tell you why you didn't see a contract because he said no.
No,
That's why.
okay. I'm saying, but put some dollars on it. And like Two Rich is saying, put some dollars on it and let's see what he say then.
You
Let me
can't.
If
let
you
me say this to add context too,
see what I'm
because
saying? Go ahead, y'all.
I agree with C. Rich was saying, and I agree with what D. Free just said. The B side also has a part in this to play, but I'm gonna say this. So we're gonna use good logic here. Who is the PBC's golden child?
Tank.
Tank right now, I'd say Canelo if he's still part of there because Canelo
Oh
is the breadwinner
yeah, he
all the
with
way around.
Turkey now. That's
But
what I'm
Tank is
saying.
the one that they're building, right?
Yes.
It's not the Mexican monster, even though he's a fantastic fighter in his own right, right?
Great fighter. Great fighter.
Great fighter. But the man that they really push more than anybody is Tank, right?
Yes.
So you telling me they would let him be the standard bearer where he could say, F what y'all talking about. I want
Yes.
this fight. I don't
Right.
want no Foster. I want him. And they won't let Tank do that. They're gonna coddle and protect him.
Yeah.
This dude right here, the Mexican monster, is on the precipice of great things. He gets the Canelo fight. They make money hand over foot. There is no bigger fight than in boxing than Canelo versus Benavidez. That will be the biggest fight in this recent history,
Oh my
in
God.
boxing in this recent time. And,
It would.
and they're not gonna allow Tank to miss that as well too. Fully pay attention to this fight and then the call out after this fight. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be one of those folks that y'all say Tank is getting protected from, getting
Yep.
match made from, and when he sparks them like he sparks 93, soon to be
He
94%
gonna
of, don't down talk the talent. Don't say they was overrated or he waited too late or it was too early. Just give Tank his dap. That's
that's
all I'm
it.
gonna say. Just
That's
give
it.
him
I
his
agree
dap.
with you. I agree with you. I agree with everything y'all saying. So I'm asking all y'all this. When y'all look at this situation with Tank and what's going on, I've already stated how I feel. I think Tank is the best at 135. I want him to prove it. I think the promoters are
You need to prove it.
kind of matching with who they think he gonna look best with because it's all about a dollar. But man, Two Rich made a great point. He said, "Man, give us what we want. We don't care about what nobody say how to fight. Look, give us what we want to see." Do y'all think that Tank feels like the fight with him and Shakur will be a boring fight, and that's why he's not too interested in it?
See, this is the problem with me. If it's a boring fight, then dog, you didn't deserve to be the fighter that I thought you was. Cause I don't care. You can't really run in the ring, bro. It's only so far you can go. And if somebody supposed to make it easy for you to catch them and hit them, hell
No.
no. If you're
I
that
don't.
dude that I believe you are, you supposed to know how to cut that ring and bring his ass, run him right into a punch. You want to
Yeah,
run his ass right into a punch.
definitely.
And I believe fully that that's what we will see.
Me too.
Me.
I don't
Two
think
Rich.
it's going to be a boring fight because I think Tank is going to press the action. I think
Yes.
I think that's something that Calvin Ford said, and you gotta understand Calvin Ford and Tank's trainers. They don't make the fights. They're not in the room with the fight go on because you heard Barry Hunter said he said I didn't know who Tank was going to fight. I got the
Yeah.
call saying we fighting Lamont Roach. He said, I
Yeah.
didn't know who we was fighting. They not in the room when the fights are being made. They don't make Tank Davis fight. We heard Calvin Ford said, I want the Pitbull Cruz fight. Tank said, I'm not fighting him again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they don't make the fight. So it's not on the trainers.
yeah.
Tank Davis is
No,
making
no.
his fights.
Not the trainer. I'm sorry, Free, if I keep saying the trainers. I mean,
No, you didn't say
No,
the trainer, but
no, you didn't say
everybody was
that.
included. Everybody was included. It was the promoters, Tank himself, and his camp, his people.
Okay.
They
Too
were all
rich.
Yeah.
included
What
as
do
the
you think,
people
Too
that.
Rich?
Hey, what? Check this out then. If Tank got the power to say, "Hell no, I don't want the Pitbull Cruz fight again," and they don't make the Pitbull Cruz fight again so far anyway, what kind of barrier do you think saying, "What has Shakur done? Why would I fight him? What has he done in the sport?" Don't you think that put a barrier up against making that fight? Why
Nah,
is he saying, why would he fight the guy that's done pretty much
No,
more than any other fighters that he fought?
I
no.
think he's doing that to make Shakur go out there and perform better. I don't think he's doing that to put a barrier up because Tank Davis still makes the fight. He makes the fight.
Hey, Free.
They still
But don't you, hey,
offer
Free,
him a 1-fight deal.
let me ask you a question in between there, right quick, Free. But for what Too Rich is saying, and Too Rich think like I think, man, I like that. Man, don't you think that by him saying that it downplays the fight, and for a casual fan that don't know
No,
any better, they would think there's
No,
no
no,
reason to
no, no,
watch
no.
no,
For a
Shakur.
casual
no.
fan, for sure, for a casual fan.
Yeah, for a
You're
casual
right
fan.
about that.
I'm
For a fan who don't,
gonna say
but I know where
I'm
D is going with it though. I'm
no.
letting
I'm
cut.
gonna tell you no because the casual fans want to see Tank Davis fight. They know Shakur is a big name fighter. They want to see Tank Davis fight. We already see they sold out the Barcade for Lamont Roach. You telling me Lamont
No,
Roach is a bigger name than
that's on
Shakur?
Tank though. That's on
No,
Tank though. Listen what I'm
listen
gonna
what I'm
say.
saying. Listen what I'm saying. You
Go ahead.
saying, do you think that's downplaying to the casual? No,
I do.
no.
I'm gonna tell
I'm
you
gonna
why,
tell
Free. I'm gonna tell you 1 second, and I want you to answer me. Just tell me if I'm right or wrong. The reason I say that is this right here, where Tank can do a million pay-per-view buys for Shakur, and some casuals that wouldn't watch it. When you keep downplaying them, that million might turn into 800,000. But if you just put a little
no.
more emphasis into saying, "Hey man, the guy's a great talent. I don't have to keep downplaying what he can do in the ring. His skill set, he brings something different to the table. But I know what I bring to the table, and I don't. I'm just saying that there are things I feel
I'm
like
gonna tell
Tank
you.
can say.
I'm
I
gonna
agree
give you
with
a
you, Fulo.
perfect. I'm gonna give you a perfect example why it
Yes, sir.
doesn't downplay to the casual. Tank Davis came out and said this is a garbage fight when they was making a fight for Rolly.
See?
He said I don't want to fight Rolly. I don't want to fight this
Oh,
dude.
okay, yeah,
He has no skills. Rolly got pulled out. He fought Eastside Pitbull Cruz. He won that fight. They came
mhm.
right back and made the Rolly fight, and he sold out the Barcade and broke records.
Yeah. But what did he do on pay-per-view buys though in that fight?
400.
So
I
that's
think
what. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think like somewhere around 350, 400.
yeah,
three,
yeah. You're right.
350,
He did
400.
And
Okay.
200 and
I
some
believe
thousand,
Free
man.
that
Now
Tank.
that's according to that boy that hate him. You don't have verified numbers
Right,
on
right. We
that.
don't have
That's for that boy
verification.
that hate
You're
him.
right, Thomas Hill.
The
Ain't
I
people
no
just
who
feel like
verified
that
number.
If Tank wants to sell a fight, Tank can take a fight and sell it. It's almost like the Canelo. Canelo would take a bad fighter and tell you he's good. Canelo would tell you. Canelo almost had me convinced when I know better that the person he's
No,
fighting has no business in the ring with him. You
let me
understand
tell
what I'm
you
saying?
what builds up the fight for the casuals because each one of these fighters already have their own
Yes, sir.
built-in fans. What builds up the fight to the casuals is the press conference. It's the weigh-in. That's
Right,
what
right.
builds up the
Yeah,
fight for the casuals.
I
So
agree.
Tank Davis can say whatever he want to say. When they have the press conference, that's when the casuals get involved.
Okay.
can
But
I can
Free,
I
do
can
you
I say
think?
something
Go ahead,
too?
go ahead, go ahead, Tom.
I want to say also this, bro. It could hurt or damper how people preview it going into the fight. But let's
Right.
be honest, man. Madonna don't care about boxing, but when Tank show up, she show up. So
Yeah.
there's interest, there's intrigue, there's spectacle. So people
Yeah.
gonna tune in. Let me say this though. By no stretch of the imagination do he not believe that that Shakur is some just trash fighter that ain't done nothing. What he
Right.
says by that is Madonna's, Sting, Seals, other stars, LeBron, them, do they really come to see his ass when he come fight. Because when he come fight, he ain't taking no Pitbull numbers. He ain't taking no Lamont Roach numbers. He not asking for what these other niggas asking. I'm Shakur Stevenson. Nigga, I deserve way more than that.
Right.
So when you come to the table, you trying to come like nigga this side. And I'm just the A side. I don't want to have none of this stuff. You gonna agree to what we get? I'm not fighting for. Ryan Garcia got 2.5 million. I don't want no 2.5. I want 6 million guaranteed. Tank got 3 million guaranteed. So you want more than me, and you gonna want the benefits of what I bring to the table. You want to eat off the food I provide. That's what he mean. He don't mean the nigga.
I don't know what happened to T Hill. He walking.
Y'all there?
He got out of
I'm good. Okay. Hey, well, I'm just gonna say this: we all OGs on the panel, and like I said about that statement Tank made, I heard that statement made 2 other times. Why would I fight him? What has he done? And that was Canelo.
My bad. He said in the top 5 pound fighters. Yeah, for sure. So he know he nice. He just can't be acting like he the reason why niggas coming to see this fight. That's all he mean.
Okay.
All he mean. And yeah, CDK, if you was boys with somebody and you did a lot for them ninjas, you helped put them on, and then behind your back, they over there sorting you up, talking bad about you, saying you dare not get in the ring with me. How you gonna feel about your boy, dog? I just want to know. How you really gonna feel?
I'm gonna say this right here, and I'm glad you brought that up. The one thing that I definitely agree with Tank on, I believe Gervonta Tank Davis is the reason that either a lot of people left Floyd Mayweather's promotional company or they didn't sign with him, because I think Tank was schooling them and giving them the advice on what you were going to be dealing with if you sign with Floyd. I think that is why you see Floyd TMT or whatever in the situation it is right now, because of Gervonta Tank Davis. And I feel like that in a sense, maybe in truth, he does feel a certain type of way, because if I'm trying to give you game and because I rock with you and you my guy, and then you turn around talking about you want to hurt me or fight me in the ring, even though it's still boxing in the sport, I still feel some type of way.
Hey, but look, check this out. Like I was saying, I only heard one other guy make that statement. What have you done? Why would I fight you? And that's Canelo against Demetrius Andrade and Benavidez. And that was duck talk, bro. That's duck talk. I don't care which way you cut it. That's duck talk, bro.
That was duck talk.
But the only difference in those situations is they never offered Demetrius Andrade or Benavidez a 1-fight deal. They never offered him that. They did that for Shakur.
Okay. We saying that, right? So we remember when Shakur ended his deal with Top Rank, he went and met with all the promotional companies. Well, in an interview that Espinoza gave yesterday, he said that was part of the preliminary talk. He said Shakur talked to everyone. We talked to him. He talked to everyone, and it wasn't nothing serious. It was just a preliminary talk. It wasn't a replacement talk. It was a preliminary talk. So Shakur ended up, I guess, signing the best deal he thought was for him at that time. But
which was Joe Cordina?
Well, 2-fight deal. I guess they got to get their feet wet.
Like I said, if they offer you a 1-fight deal with Tank Davis, you take that 1-fight deal.
But they didn't offer it though. No, I disagree, because this was the issue. A lot of people said he should do what Terrence Crawford did. Well, they gave Terrence Crawford that for both of them being champions, they gave him the fight and the rematch. So I think that was pretty fair. Shakur's the champion, fight and a rematch.
Terrence negotiated a rematch. They didn't want.
Well, that's what if you're telling me they tried to give him a 1-fight deal, he wanted a multi-fight deal. That was fair then.
Listen what I'm saying. You take the 1-fight deal, you negotiate the rematch. When you sit down at the table and negotiate and y'all come up with the terms before y'all set out the contract, you negotiate that. That's what Bud did. It was a 1-fight deal. They got down to sit down at the table. Bud negotiated a rematch. Earl didn't want it. He wanted a 1-fight, and that was it. If I win, I go on by my business. If I lose, I go on by my business. But he negotiated that.
Okay, but we could flip that and simply say, well, damn, Shakur wanted to no matter what y'all want to say, Shakur is one of the top athletes of the game right now. How the hell you don't want to get him a 2-fight deal? So y'all said no. He didn't say no. PBC said no.
Well,
He didn't say
I mean,
no. The PBC said no to a
he said,
2-fight deal when he
yeah.
bigger than anybody else on they
But
roster.
they didn't say a 2-fight there. They said we want a multi-fight. I don't know how many a multi-fight
Well,
was.
I'm gonna say a multi-fight. To me, a multi-fight deal, if I assume, is 2 fights. Now, I see what you're saying, Free, but let me say this, Free. Do you think that if you come to me and tell me, okay, we're gonna give you a 1-fight deal, but this is what we offering you, and you tell me what I'm gonna get paid for that fight, that then change the perspective. That means I know what I'm gonna make, and that gives me a chance to say, okay, well,
I'm gonna put it as plain as I can put it.
Yeah.
Me being a fighter, and I
Yeah.
know this is the biggest fight of my career. I know this fight is going to give me the most money I can ever get. If they say
Right.
we got one fight with Tank Davis, I'm taking it.
But hey,
I'm taking
Free,
it.
you hear what Lamont Roach
I
just
don't
said?
care about nothing after that.
No,
I'm taking it.
You hear what Lamont Roach just said, right? Lamont Roach said he could have made more fighting his
Yeah,
whoever
that's
the
what
Mandatory.
Lamont. That's Lamont. That's Lamont. But I'm talking about.
Okay, so right, that's
I'm
Lamont.
talking about
But we
Shakur.
talking about
Lamont.
Shakur Stevenson.
What I'm saying is Lamont might not be getting anything on the back end. Shakur is going to get something on the back end. He's a bigger name than Lamont.
Okay, yeah, but I'm saying this to say that I still understand where Shakur was coming from. I understand what you're saying.
I'm not saying that he was wrong. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
if that's a fight that you really want, that you claim that you want, you take it. So you telling me if they would have came to Demetrius Andrade or David Benavidez with a 1-fight deal for Canelo, they're gonna say, "Nah, I want a multi-fight deal." No, they're gonna take it.
I agree, but I'm also gonna say this. Shakur Stevenson at the time was leaving Top Rank. He was looking for a new deal. And I feel like he's looking at who he is and as a talent. Why are you just offering me 1-fight deal? I feel like you
Well,
insulting.
according to Shakur, when he left Top Rank and he said he was going around seeing what everybody had to offer, he said he don't want to be tied down to nobody.
Yeah, but two fights is not really being tied
when
down.
you say you don't want to be tied down, that means you take a fight and you move on. You take a fight, you move on. You take a fight, you move on.
Okay, listen. I'm just saying, me myself personally, I think.
Yeah, you might do too. I think not being tied down is 1 fight and I'm moving on.
No, I'm saying
you might think 2 is not being tied down.
Yeah, what I'm saying, it's a core man being tied down. So we just taking the guess. It could be 5 fights. I don't want a 5-fight deal, but I'll do 2. I'll take multiple fights.
Well, we know he signed. We know he signed for more than 2 fights because he just signed a multi-fight deal with Matchroom.
I think it's a 2 or 3 fight deal, and I think
it was more like 3 or 4 fights.
It's 3 fights. It's 3 fights, including Padley.
Yeah. I thought it was 3 fights.
It's 3 fights after Padley, not including. He just signed a multi-fight deal.
No,
he just signed
a 3-fight deal.
It's a 4-fight deal. Exactly. It's a 4-fight deal. Thomas just put it out. There's a 4-fight deal. It was 3 fights after Padley because he just signed a multi-fight deal after Padley.
Okay.
He had to fight with Padley, and then he went. And the next day, he signed a multi-fight deal with Matchroom.
But Matchroom offered him some great money from what I heard. So what I'm gonna ask is this right here. With that being said, why couldn't PBC, with a fight of that magnitude, Tank Davis is your biggest fight, your biggest name. He the one that bring the most money to the table for you. We're gonna look at it from a promoter perspective. Free. You're the promoter. You know what Shakur can do. It can bring money, generate a lot of money. Why wouldn't you give him a 2-fight deal to just appease him and say, okay, let's get this out the way? Because I know we're gonna make money, you know what I'm saying, hand over heel on this situation. You understand what I'm saying? Like, why couldn't PBC? What was it with? I'm just trying to figure out what it was with PBC that they couldn't sign a Shakur Stevenson.
Whatever fight at 135 do PBC have for Shakur?
The thing with Shakur is, I truly believe fight at 140 as well. I believe there's opportunity there with him.
No, Shakur's at 135. We're not talking about.
No, I know what he's at.
No. We're not talking about what you. We're not talking about. We're talking about right now at 135. That's where he's at. That's where he's at. What do they have other than Tank Davis?
Okay, let's say this right here though. Him and Tank have a great fight. Bam. Tank does lose.
Who?
I'm just saying, Tank and Shakur have a great fight. And if let's say if Tank was to lose that fight, well, you already got Shakur signed to a 2-fight deal, we can run it back. But also, Shakur Stevenson is a fighter that's willing to go to 140, and he's already said that and face someone.
Dog.
You could have signed him.
Y'all looking at what you believe is going to happen. I'm looking at what's going on right now.
I'm saying what if you signed him, what could have happened if you had
signed him? No. That's not how it goes. We going by what
Pitbull signed. Let me ask you a question. Who Pitbull signed to?
He signed to PBC.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I think PBC has a few 135-pound fighters. Who Ryle? No, Ryle's 140, but I'm just trying to figure out. I think PBC
Ryan is signed to Golden Boy.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out who PBC has.
Frank Martin is at 140. He signed to PBC. Frank Martin is at 140.
Okay. Frank Martin?
Yeah, he's at 140.
He fought Tank at 135.
He's at 140 now.
Okay, but
he moved up to 140.
Yeah, but at the time, there would have been 2 good fights, would it not?
No, because he wasn't fighting Frank Martin. Frank Martin already fought Tank.
No,
he moved up to 140.
Frank Martin back out of the fight now. We're going to keep it 100. Frank Martin
he had already fought Tank Davis, and he said he's moving up to 140. He wasn't fighting Shakur at 135.
Was it the Tank Davis fight and the Shakur Stevenson fight on the table before Tank and Frank Martin?
No, it was after. It was after.
Shakur and Frank was on first.
Listen, because y'all got your timelines mixed up. The Frank Martin fight for Shakur was before Shakur had his last fight with Top Rank.
Right.
Tank Davis fought Frank Martin. Shakur had his last fight with Artem, and then Shakur became the free agent. Frank Martin was already moving up to 140.
Too rich.
No, yeah.
No.
Yes, it is.
No,
how much y'all putting on it? How much y'all want to put on it?
Look it up,
man. Because Frank turned down a Shakur fight. Frank turned down a Shakur fight.
Listen what I'm saying.
Because he wanted 1.5 million. They want to give him $1 million. He wanted 1.5 million.
Yes.
Listen to what I'm saying. Frank Martin fought Tank Davis, and before the Shakur was a free agent. Tank Davis and Shakur talk wasn't until Shakur was a free agent. Frank Martin was last fight with Tank Davis. That was Tank Davis' last fight, which was last year before Shakur fought Artem.
No, I remember there being way before the Tank.
Yeah, that was way before.
Listen, all you got to do is look at Shakur's last fight.
I'm looking it up though.
Look, I got it right here. I got it right here.
I could be wrong. I'm
telling you, I got it right here in front of me.
Show it to me. I mean, tell me what to say.
Here it go right here. I got it right here in front of me. Tank Davis. Let me go back to box right here. Lamar Roach, Tank Davis right here. Tank Davis fought. Hold up. Tank Davis fought fought Frank Martin in June of 2024. When was Shakur last fight at Top Rank?
No, hey, you're wrong, Free.
Well, June of 24. June of 24 was Frank Martin and Tank Davis. What are you talking about?
I'm finna read it off to you right here. I'm finna read it to you. Hold on.
Oh, all you gotta do is look right here.
No. The contract
June 24.
The contract with Frank Martin and Shakur came before Tank Davis and what's his name, but Frank Martin never signed the deal with Shakur Stevenson. He turned it down. He later went on to fight Javante Tank Davis.
I already said the Frank Martin and Shakur. I said Frank Martin and Shakur was negotiated. Tank Davis.
That's what we were saying. My fault, bro.
That happened first. Frank Martin fought Tank Davis.
Okay.
Then Shakur fought his last fight at Top Rank.
Okay.
I'm saying the fight for Tank Davis wasn't on the table for Shakur until he became a free agent.
We on different pages. We was on different pages. Everything we were saying the same thing, but we just look exactly. I was talking about the offer for Frank Martin.
Oh yeah, the offer for Frank was first. Yes, that was first.
But that's what we were talking about.
That fight fell through because Shakur didn't want to give Frank a little bit extra money. So
they said Frank Martin didn't want. Listen, what did Frank Martin get to fight Tank Davis? Shakur
for Tank Davis
1.5. Yeah.
No, Shakur offered him $1. Shakur offered Frank Martin $1.
1
1
okay.
million.
I seen somebody
1
say
million.
1.5.
It was a
I take
flat
your
fee
word
of
for it.
it was a flat fee of $1 million. He got
Yeah,
500,000. He got 500,000 to fight Tank Davis, and then he got his bread on the back end. And I think he walked away with somewhere around $4 or $5 million.
So do you feel like, I mean, just we being real, do you think that was a duck move or just a better money move, better decision?
Do I
I
think
think
what?
the Tank Davis came calling and he just made a cut. He even said out his own. I heard him on a radio interview say that it was the same risk, but he had more upside with Tank than Shakur.
Yeah,
But he's
yeah.
taking the same risk. So, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, Tank Davis, you know you're going to get more money. You're
On the
going to get
back
more
end.
money.
Yeah.
Because Shakur was with Frank Martin and Shakur, that wasn't a pay-per-view fight. It was on ESPN.
Yeah, it was flat. Yeah, that was a flat guarantee.
That was a flat fee. So he got half of the guarantee that Shakur was giving him, but he made more on the back end. He made 4 or 5 times more on the back end.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hey, but I'm gonna say this too. I don't want to put no bad name necessarily on Tank because I do believe Tank.
Yeah, hey, yeah, definitely. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And that's one reason that you know, it's always more upside when you fight Javante Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying?
I'm looking at the Ryan and Tank fight right now. And to be honest with you, I think the Ryan and Tank fight will go similar to Keyshawn and Tank.
You said the Ryan and Tank fight?
Yeah, the Ryan and Tank fight. I'm watching it right now because Ryan is about the same built as Keyshawn Davis. I think it'll be similar.
I think Keyshawn's style is a little different.
I'm not saying they got the same style. I'm talking about how Ryan is pressuring Tank, using the jab, trying to keep Tank away, and just throwing shots from a distance. I think it will be similar to that. But I think, like I said, I think Tank Davis will figure out Keyshawn Davis and catch him with a big shot, the same way he did Ryan.
Hey, let me say
Thomas
this.
Hill say he got booted. If you can jump back in, Thomas, let me know, man. Come on back in. Definitely want you back in here. I can see what you're saying, Free. Makes a lot of sense. But let me ask you in two Rich this. Is the Tank, does the Tank fight with Keyshawn or Shakur? Which one of those fights generates more money and which one people want to see more, you think?
Say that again?
I think it's Shakur. I think it's Shakur because I think it's more anticipated. I think it's Shakur.
Who will make more money in which fight?
Okay, I'm saying, which fight do fans want? You think fans would want to see more? Tank versus Keyshawn or Tank versus Shakur? And which fight would actually do better?
I think, me personally, I think the fans might. I mean, the diehard boxing fans want to see want to see Tank Davis versus Shakur. I think the casuals more so want to see Tank versus Keyshawn because they both big punchers. They think it'll be more exciting.
Right.
I think Keyshawn and Tank probably would make more money than Shakur and Tank because it's more exciting. It's similar to like a Ryan fight. He has that same factor where if he catch Tank with a big shot, will he be able to hurt Tank? He has that one punch knockout power, the same that Ryan had. So it's the same thing with Rolly. That's what Rolly brought to the table. That one punch knockout power. That's why so many people was drawn into the Rolly fight because they were like, hey, if Rolly land a lucky shot, he might hurt Tank. So they wanted to see if Rolly was going to be able to land that lucky shot. They wasn't seeing it if Rolly was going to outpoint Tank. They wanted to see if Rolly could land that lucky shot. So I think that it will be the same with Keyshawn, and I think that will bring in more money because of the what if factor.
The what if. What do you think about that, Thomas Hill? What do you think?
Oh, Too Rich fell off? I wanted to ask him something. Too Rich, my guy.
Yeah, he fell off. I was gonna say.
I was gonna ask him exactly who he think would be Tank. Because ultimately,
yeah. You know what? I wanted to ask him that too because I wanted to see where his mindset was when it comes to Tank and fighting those guys. Does he feel like, I feel like I'm the guy that believes Tank beats them all, but I still believe there's factors behind the scenes that we don't know about that's holding these fights up? Because that's the way I lean. I think Tank, man, beats them all, but I just think there's other stuff going on behind the scenes is the reason why these fights haven't happened.
Yeah, for sure. And I only ask that because that's the true answer. The people believe the people want to see somebody in there that they believe can beat Tank,
Yeah.
and they will get behind that. And some people honestly feel like Tank really not that skilled. He just lucky, and he hits people with one punch, and it's over. They don't never really fully pay attention to. I encourage everybody to watch fights, especially Tank fights at half speed.
Yes.
There you truly get a gauge of he's doing things to set up punches much later in the round. I mean,
He
in a
definitely
fight.
is. And y'all, you know something, Thomas Hill, that he definitely don't get credit for. And I think people don't realize this. Because of the power that he has, this is something that he does very well. He does a lot of feinting and putting pressure on you to make you tire yourself out in the later rounds. You
Facts.
watch it and he'll make you tire yourself out because you're constantly thinking. And I'm gonna tell you something, man. When you're in that boxing ring, the mental aspect of the boxing match can also tire you out physically. People don't
For
know that.
sure. For sure. And then not just that, like not only the foot feints, the head feints, the glove feints, but
Yeah.
also the posting, the framing, the changing of levels,
Yeah.
changing of speed, like of their punches. Like he does a lot of things that alludes himself later on to being very more spot on and precise with his punches because they become more available at that point in time. But to answer your question, I was going to answer it with a question like, who do you really believe? Because that's truly who they're going to tune into. I think most people believe Keyshawn right now because Keyshawn truly, now we talking about manufacturing fighters and matchmaking, what he's been getting has been getting that matchmaking treatment. You don't matchmake when you throw somebody in there untested with a champion. Then you don't follow that up with another champion who's been
Yeah.
wrecking shop. That's not matchmaking, dog. But because it's taken more so because of Mayweather, the connection with Mayweather, he has gotten a level of hate that we shouldn't apply to him. But I believe the best fight between them two, Keyshawn or Shakur, is Shakur.
Yeah.
Honestly, if they were to fight right now, hurt hands or all, I believe Shakur makes it light work of Keyshawn. That's me though. That's how I feel. But people will be in tune to the fact that, hey, Keyshawn getting people out of here. He might have that chance. And what D Free said, whomever they believe poses a serious threat will sell better. But for me, as a diehard fan and a fan of the pureness of boxing, IQ versus IQ, skill versus skill, talent versus talent, I want Shakur Stevenson. I think he should be next. They said he can beat him with his sleep, with bandana over his eyes, and bad hands. I want to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And I'm
know
gonna
what
say
I'm
this, Thomas Hill. I'm gonna say this. I believe people think it's gonna sound. This might sound a little crazy, but there's a fight brewing or a fighter that's coming through the rankings right now that I
saying?
feel like maybe Tank 3 or 4 fights could give an opportunity to, and that's Andy Cruz. And
Oh,
it
Andy
might sound
Cruz?
crazy,
I like
but
that.
I like Andy Cruz. I think Andy Cruz is very talented. I think he's a phenomenal fighter. And man, I just look at his skill set, man. That dude can do it all. And I'm telling you, man, he's gonna be a real problem for a lot of guys in 3 or 4 more fights.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. See, the problem is for me, I thought that Keyshawn should be fighting like an Andy Cruz right now or next.
Mm.
But he no longer has that luxury now. He's a champion. Right
Yeah,
now, he's a belt holder. But, he's going to have to defend that belt. And they don't come with just pick 'em fights no more. You can't match make the belts now. Well, I
yeah.
mean, you can, but
Hey, TD Sports Talk, man, said keep discrediting Keyshawn Davis after only 12 and 13 fights. He's getting better and better too. I agree.
he
He's a
is.
phenomenal fighter. He's a
He is.
listen, I call him a special talent. I think he's a special talent, and I don't use that word lightly. You know what I'm saying? Keyshawn Davis goes out there, man. He puts on a show, the businessman, and he definitely is the businessman. I just think that do I want to see him fight Tank next? Not next. I want to see Keyshawn get another maybe TD Sports 1 or 2 fights in, and then maybe give him the opportunity with Tank. The Andy Cruz fight is a fight. I usually don't go with the marinade fights. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? I would let it marinate, the Andy Cruz and Keyshawn fight, a little longer. I think that that's gonna be one hell of a fight.
I do
What do you
too.
think, TD Sports Talk? You think, man, there's gonna be a fight? Come on stage, man. If you
Yeah,
want
come on
to.
stage, man. Stop talking through text, baby boy. We ain't doing a talk to text feature, dog. You get up and talk on the phone, bro, like voice to voice. But I'll say this: I do not devalue Keyshawn. I think Keyshawn is a phenomenal prospect turned champion. I really do. I don't discredit him only because he's had X amount of fights. Think about this statement that you said. He's been improving. You know who's the fighter that has improved the most and has over 30 fights? David Benavidez. That Mickey Freaky gets better and better and better. He adds to his game and he's willing to learn. Another fighter who's doing that you guys won't give because he's associated with somebody else that y'all don't like, Tank Davis. The boy stay in the gym, adding to his repertoire,
Oh, he
adding to his
does.
arsenal.
He does.
And CDK, I want to say something that you highlighted before when you came on by yourself. Having Calvin Ford, Kenny Ellis, then also you got in your repertoire, in your arsenal, that skill and strength and conditioning coach. I forget his name. You got also my man that's coaching him now, Barry
Hunter.
Huh?
Barry Hunter.
Barry Hunter. Yep. That's a lot. That's a wealth of knowledge that he gets to pull from.
Man,
who done dealt with and seen a whole lot of old school boxing. This Mickey Freaky's adding to his craft. And you take into consideration that he's got speed on his feet and his hands. And his IQ, too, is lightning fast. He's downloading stuff at a razor pace. And on top of that, he can punch place. And he can change levels. He can move, and he watches and respects his opponents, bro. He don't never disrespect nobody he get in the ring with. Save Rolly Ramirez. And that's only because he didn't want.
TD Sports, I'm sorry, TD Sports said he can't get on stage right now with us. He said it's his day off today with the family, aka my bully of a wife. So I understand that. I understand that very well.
His wife must have hit him with the DMX.
Yeah, not right now. Bring it. We right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You're not going anywhere.
Put her on the phone. Let her speak too. We got her.
Man, hey, I know how it go though. It's crazy, man. I wanted to talk about all these fights on this card in some kind of way, man. The one thing about Gervonta Tank Davis, you can get wrapped up in a conversation with him, and the conversation can go on forever because there's so much to talk about. That just speaks on how much he brings to the table, man, and the value of what, you know what I'm saying? Of him.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. And what you said holds true to me, man. I think we need to see these fights. I don't think it's time. Who else you gonna fight, bro? Like, really, who else you gonna fight?
If he once he dismantles Lamont Roach, in my opinion, what do y'all think is next? Is there any way that he can go down? Now, people are saying that he's gonna call Inoue up. Do y'all believe that? You hear me, Free?
Say that again.
People are saying that after this fight, Gervonta Tank Davis is gonna call Monster Inoue up. Do y'all believe that?
Nah.
You don't need it.
I think it's gonna be either Williams Zepeda or it's gonna be Kid Austin.
Man, if it's Kid Austin, I'm gonna be pissed, bro.
If it's Kid Austin,
he said y'all gonna be mad, real mad.
If it's Kid Austin, I'm gonna lose my marbles. I'm telling you. If it's Kid Austin,
I really don't think it's gonna be Kid Austin. I think it's gonna be like Williams Zepeda or maybe even Keyshawn. I think Kid Austin might get called as his mandatory because he hasn't fought a mandatory since Rolly. I think they gave him credit for Frank Martin, but even if it was Frank Martin, that was almost a year ago. So I think Kid Austin will get called as a mandatory.
You guys, I want to ask you this. I really want to ask you this. If do you think that he should keep his mandatory status for pulling out of a fight, bro? Because he clearly wasn't hurt. And I'm gonna say that only because I'm only saying that because I've seen athletes suffer from dehydration to the point where, you know, it took them months to get themselves back together in the train. Some of them years. This brother was days, and he was throwing a kettlebell going up above his head, below his legs, up above his head, below his legs. Dog, that takes a whole lot.
Hey, this is my channel, and I know that BBO says that they're, they're a friend of, Sport Talk Network, but I have to be 100% honest about how I feel about that whole situation. Or it wouldn't be me, but I will be respectful. I think this was the worst move in the history of boxing. I think what we witnessed was diabolical, and I think it was really spot where Shakur Stevenson kept saying they wasn't gonna show up. I don't know what he knew. They wasn't gonna the fight wasn't gonna happen, and he was 100% correct. I don't believe that Kid Austin ever wanted to fight. I believe his father wanted to fight. I think he made his son look bad. I'm hearing a lot of stuff that I hope ain't true. I'm hearing a lot of stuff that I really hope ain't true about the money aspect, about his dad getting all the money, about Kid Austin not being allowed as a grown man to have a cell phone and do any talking. I'm hearing a lot of stuff that I don't like, and I'm hoping that this stuff is not true. And if it is, man, that is a bad situation to put your son in to do like that, man. And I hope that his son takes control of his career, because what just happened, man, it put you in a bad light. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Nobody else has anything to do with what I'm saying, but that's how I feel.
No, I respect that too, bro. I'm just thinking, just in general, if fighters get into a fight and it looks like they pull out for either reasons other than health or major circumstance or catastrophe that have struck their family or their life, should they continue to keep their mandatory status? Because we have times where stuff like this does happen.
Free. What do you think about that?
About say that again.
I just want to know how do you feel about everything that transpired with Kid Austin and Shakur Stevens?
Um, I think it was a bad look, being though that his father came out and did all that lying.
Yeah,
It put a bad rap on his son,
yeah,
because his son didn't say anything. That was his father. His son uh got rushed to the hospital for whatever reason. I think he passed out because of the weight drain, and
yeah,
his father went ahead and did all the videos and stuff while his son was sitting there resting. It made his son look bad, and I I hate to see that these fathers get in the way of their own kids' success because they have a alternative gender. And Kid Austin, he's the victim in this situation because
yes.
it's his father, so he don't want to go against his father, but at the same token, that's his career. So I think he's going to stay as the number one. Well, he's going to get moved to the number one contender for the WBA. Um, I don't think he's ready for Tank Davis, but
No.
I mean, you don't want to turn down an opportunity of life changing money and a possibility of, hey, you might land that lucky shot. You might be the one person that can land that lucky shot on Tank Davis, and it'll change your entire career for the rest of your life.
Free. Let me ask you this, but wasn't this sort of like life changing money from what I heard, from what he was getting, and the way that his dad and everyone was talking about the contract and the way Turkey was gonna pay them? Like, what you're saying is 100% correct. I'm only asking you, like, was he getting a nice bag for this fight?
I don't know. I don't
Wasn't it
know.
1.5?
I don't know what he was getting paid.
Okay.
Because when I looked, I saw Shakur made like 2.1. I don't know
Yeah.
what Padley made. I think Padley made somewhere around 500 or 600,000.
Yes, it was.
And they probably changed it because he was a fill-in. So I don't know exactly what he was getting paid, but I mean 1.5 after you have to pay your promoters and pay your sparring partners
Yeah.
and your father as the trainer, he might walk away with somewhere around 700,000. It's still
Yeah.
good money for him because he's never made that in his career,
Right.
but it's not something where it changes his life forever. Now, it will change it to a certain extent, but it's not like he can say, okay, you know what, I can take my time picking my next fight. No, you got to get right back on it. So
Yeah.
it was good money. I'm not saying it's bad money, but I don't think it was money where he turns into a diva. I don't think it was that type of money. I mean, he might very well would have turned into a diva. I don't know, but I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
if he get that Tank Davis knock on the door, that 1.5 could turn into like 4 or 5.
Okay, but look at this, friend. Man, you're 100% correct. But I'm asking you and Thomas Hill this. This young man had a son. He just a newborn. We know that, boxing, there are a lot of guys that have a job behind the scene. There are things coming out now being said, and I'm keeping up with it because I'm trying to really get to the bottom of this situation. I heard Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, come out and say that for a long time. Did you hear that, Free? Go ahead. I know you were
Yeah.
finna say something. Go ahead.
Did he have a chance against Shakur?
No, not a chance. I'm talking about. I heard Rick Ross say that he was helping out the father and the son, and you know
Oh,
they were traveling around the world at his expense, doing all these things to help this man out, and they really played him or just done a lot of stuff that he didn't agree with. Do you think there's going to be a situation where the father end up destroying the son's career?
if he keep doing what he's doing, he keep going the way he's going, yeah, because um his son ain't at the like when Devin's father was doing it. Devin had already had some experience under his belt. He didn't already climb to the mountaintop and became the WBC champion.
Yeah,
The next spot was to unify and become an undisputed. So Devin had a lot of fights along the way. Kid Austin only got what 15 fights.
yeah, something like
So
that.
it's early in his career. So with Devin is able to maneuver around what his father is doing or what his father said because his father says some crazy stuff at times. He's able to move around because of what we've seen from Devin in the past. With Kid Austin, he hasn't really done anything. So people like, okay, you doing all this. He hasn't even done anything.
No, he ain't.
So
He ain't.
if he keep doing what he's doing, it's gonna kill his career. It's going to kill it because what he's going to do is end up putting his son in a situation where he can't come back from.
Yep, yep. I agree. Thomas Hill, how do you feel about this situation? He might went out. He
I
might have
think
went
Thomas
out.
Hill doing something.
Okay, and you're right, Free.
No, 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 no. I'm
Everybody.
still here. I'm still here. I'm
Okay,
still here.
okay.
So did you
I'm
hear the
going.
question I was asking about?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think the father's gonna destroy this young man's career?
I hope not, but it's a strong possibility if he keep carrying himself with untruths. Like that's the biggest thing, man. He said libelous and slanderous things concerning Shakur and his people.
Yes.
And those could have ramifications that go beyond the boxing ring. Likewise, you being an OG, you really know this. You got somebody that's fronting you to do things. They're looking for return on their investment. They're
Yes.
looking for you to do things that are going to promote you and your brand to grow so that they can see their investment
Yep.
likewise come to fruition. And on top of that, you don't mess with nobody money. You don't play with nobody money.
Man, definitely. And you're speaking on Rick Ross and what the things that he's a legend that he done for for the Schofields and
Right.
how he helped them out and how he's the one that really, got him on the platforms. And, I heard him say that, Floyd Schofield really senior or whatever, the second really hates Bill Haney because he kind of wants to emulate what Bill Haney has done, and he
Yeah,
hates that Bill Haney is able to do what he's doing with his son. And I
yeah,
do think that he's trying to follow that blueprint, but he's going about it all wrong. Like you have to be able to prove yourself in the ring. It's more than just talking. You also have to be able to back it up.
See what he should be doing is putting his son in the most amount of fights as he can get him in a short amount of time because his son
Yeah,
is 22 years old. So by the time he's 25, you want to have him somewhere around 25 fights. You want his
yep,
his age to match his amount of fights that he has. So
yep,
you want to try to get him because he's still in that he's not really a prospect because he's number 2 in the WBA, but he's still, because of the amount of fights, he's still in that prospect range. So you want to try to get him 4 or 5 fights a year and get him the most amount of experience as he can get. So when he does hit that opportunity of fighting a champion, he's prepared for, because he's never fought in a 12-round fight. He's never fought a champion or a former champion. So
I think Free, he's a
you're not preparing him the proper way.
Free, you know what I'm gonna say? I think that he is a contender. Would you agree with this? With a prospect resume.
Yeah, most definitely, because he's on the same level as Keyshawn. Keyshawn and him was on the same level. They were contenders with prospect resumes.
Yeah.
So they put in position to fight for a championship. Keyshawn was ready for it, but I mean, he did fight the weaker champion out of the 4 champions. He did fight the weaker one, but he was ready for his opportunity, regardless of how we feel about the champion. He was ready for his opportunity. Now, with us looking at what transpired in the Shakur Stevenson fight, I'm not so sure that Shakur would have had an easy task with Kid Austin. I think Kid Austin posed more of a threat than Padley did. And I think Shakur would have had to work for that victory more than he did with Padley. I don't think he would have stopped Kid Austin. I think he would have, because he hurt his hand in that fight. You having a hurt hand, and Kid Austin does have that mean streak where he would just go for broke. I don't know how it would have panned out. I still think Shakur might would have pulled it out, but I think Shakur would have had to dig down deep to pull it out, because now that we see what happened in the Josh Padley fight, I don't think Shakur would have had an easy time with Kid Austin like we thought he might have had.
Let me ask y'all this. I think Padley is getting a bad rap for being, people saying an electrician, whatever. I think Padley may have been more experienced and more ready for the fight possibly than Floyd Schofield. I think, what I'm saying, Padley brought more to the table than people believe or think, and I think that's the problem. I think with Floyd Schofield, I truly don't think that he was ready. I've been saying it for the longest.
I'm going to tell you this. What Padley might have been more experienced for Shakur, but what Padley didn't have is what Kid Austin had. He had that thing that he didn't have, that thing to make Shakur have to worry about anything. Kid Austin has that power to make Shakur have to worry about it. So Shakur wouldn't have had an easy time like with Josh Padley. He didn't have to worry about the power because Josh Padley only had 4 knockouts. So he didn't have to worry about the power.
Free. Since he's moving up, you're talking about power. Since Schofield is moving up a little bit in competition, you notice the knockouts are kind of like, because I judge people like, the knockouts are going away now a little early to me in his career. Like, I think most fans, you see what I'm saying?
I don't know if it's going away because he got 14, 15 fights, and he got 12 knockouts, 13 knockouts, something like that. I think
but having his last 2 fights, or did the last one go to distance? Because
I mean, when you move up with level of competition, it's going to be harder for you to get the knockout. It doesn't mean that the power gone away. It just means the people you fighting is more experienced and their ring IQ was better, so they can avoid the big shots where you was fighting guys who couldn't avoid the bigger shots and they was getting caught with it. So it's not that the power is gone. It's just he's dealing with guys that's more experienced and they know how to avoid the big shots. Like Shakur would have avoided the big shot, but Shakur would have worried about the big shot with Josh.
He had 18. He had 18 fights with 12 knockouts. He's
18 fights with 12 knockouts.
18 fights with 12 knockouts.
So he's the power is still there. It's just the level of competition got better. So those guys was able to avoid the bigger shots. Like when he was getting the knockouts, it was early in his career. Those guys were guys that wasn't of the ring IQ of the guys of the middle and upper level. So now that he's moving up in his level of competition, it's getting harder for him to be able to land the big shot because, or it could be the fact that some guys are able to take bigger shots because of their experience and they're another level compared to the other guys that he was facing. Like we don't know what type of chin Shakur have because he's never been tested. So
Right.
Shakur might be one of those guys like Roy Jones. First time he get caught on the chin, he going to sleep.
Yeah. And you're right. That's possible. I mean, it's very possible. I don't know. Man, before we get out of here, because I wanted to get this in. Jared Hurd makes his return to the ring tonight against I can't think his first name, Gonzalez. What do y'all think about that fight, Free? If you know who he's fighting.
Johan Gonzalez is what 35-3 with 34 knockouts.
Yes.
Jared Hurd is going to sleep. He said, I'm gonna tell you the reason why I said this. Jared Hurd has said if he can't get past Gonzalez, he's going to hang him up.
Okay.
So in his mind frame, he already got one foot out the door. Second of all, I saw him get on the scale. This man looks like he literally went to camp and just lost all the weight that he can possibly lose to make the fight. He had absolutely no muscle cut when he got on that scale. Like I didn't see an ab, I didn't see a bicep, I didn't see no tricep, I didn't see anything. Like this man literally just looked like a body ready to fight. He didn't look like he was. You know how most guys they go to camp and you see that they cut up because they was training hard, they was working out. This man looked like he went to camp and he had to lose weight, and he literally lost the weight he needed to lose, and he got on the scale. He made weight, but he doesn't look like he's going to last 12 rounds. I don't think he's going to, or 10 rounds. I think it's a 12-round fight. It's for an interim fighter. Oh no, Jared Hurd is fighting on a 10. He's fighting on a prelim. Is a 10-round fight.
Okay.
And the guy that he's fighting is a big puncher. This dude can punch. I've seen him fight before. He can punch. That 34 knockout is legit. It's not like he ain't fighting
he can punch.
Top.
He can punch.
Yeah, he hasn't fought the top level of opponents, but he can punch. Like he literally can punch. And I think him and J. Rock Williams are going to sleep today.
Okay, what about Cerebro Matias and Gigi Valenzuela?
Is that for anybody or for me?
I think
it's for both of y'all. It's for both of y'all. My fault. Both of y'all.
Go ahead, D.
Cerebro Matias, I think Matias is going to bounce back. I think he's going to get a stoppage. I think he's going to bounce back and get a stoppage.
Thomas, what do you think about both of those fights?
I agree with D3 on both of them. I'm going to tell you one thing about boxing. If you're not in shape, fatigue catches you. And when fatigue catches you, it makes cowards of many men.
Yep.
What he said about my man is absolutely spot on. His body didn't look hard. It looked soft. It didn't look like he was in boxing shape, and he's fighting somebody that packs power with his punch. And in the PBC, bro, they vicious with who they set up their fights with, man. We seen them time and time again.
Yeah.
You go in there and you think that this person, he's the person that you are, and you'll see this dude that you probably didn't have your eye on come out there and look like a showstopper.
Yeah.
We're gonna see a show get stopped if this dude really ain't on his game. So I hope he on his game. Likewise,
I was gonna say I think a lot of people are looking at Jared Hurd because of the name. They're not looking at Jared Hurd and looking at the fact that he just got beat by a dude that was a no-name guy. Like nobody literally knew who he was, and he got beat by him. So Jared Hurd and J-Rock, these guys have been inactive, and they not at that level they once was before.
Yeah, inactivity is another thing too. Inactivity is another thing. You can't be inactive, out of shape, and in the ring with somebody that mean business. Because this Mickey Freaky trying to get bigger fights.
Yeah.
Because they don't fight to make money until they actually getting money. If then you're not getting money, so you fighting to stay alive. You fighting to be able to continue to fund your boxing career, not even feed your family. So it's a different type of hungry, bro. That's a different type of hungry. So if he ain't right, it's good night.
What
As
about
for
this
Sabri,
fight, y'all? I'm sorry. Sandor
oh no, I was
Martin.
gonna say same thing with Sabril, but go ahead.
Sandor Martin and how do you pronounce his last name? Puello. I be saying it
Puello,
wrong all the time.
Puello,
Quail.
Puello, yeah.
Okay, Quail. Sandor Martin Quail, which we know Quail is the one I think that beat Gary Russell Jr., right? Is he the one that got the decision against Gary Russell? I mean Gary
Yeah,
Antoine
yeah,
Russell.
yeah, yeah. He's the one that got
Gary Antoine was my
the
fault.
decision against Gary Russell.
Yes, he got
Yeah.
that decision.
I think Alberto is going to win this fight. I got a funny feeling that he might knock out Sandor Martin.
Mm,
I think for some reason I just got this feeling that this entire card is going to end in knockouts. For some strange reason, I just got that feeling. I think
mm,
if any card go the distance, I mean any fight goes the distance, it's going to be the Puyo versus Martin. I think
mm.
that will be the only one that will go the distance. If I had to bet on which fight go the distance, I will bet that one goes the distance. I think the rest
Okay.
of them will end in a knockout or has a high potential of ending in a knockout. But I think for some strange reason, I got a feeling that all of these fights might end in a stoppage or a knockout.
Wow. Okay, then that's man. I kind of feel the same way. What do you think, Thomas Hill, about that fight?
I'm sorry. Repeat that one more again. I'm sorry.
You said Sandor Martin and I want to say his name right, Quayo.
Yeah, Puello, Puello. Yeah,
Quayo.
Puello. That's a great fight, man. Honestly, I like Sandor Martin. I think that he's a phenomenal boxer. I think
Yeah,
he understands distance. I think he understands his opponent more so than anything. But Puello got a reach, man. That mm,
he does
hard
have
to get
great
around.
reach. He
He
showed
has
me
a
a lot.
great. It was the determining factor. Now, don't get me wrong, bro. Like I'm standing on this. If they have another fight, I got Russell all day. But it's
Yeah.
got to be the Russell that's not affected by the loss of his dad, bro. And I think that for the
Thank
past
you.
couple
Thank
of fights, that has been the biggest. That's like been a cloud. You remember the Charlie Brown character that always had the cloud over him?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but that's what it was for him, bro. Like
Uh,
in
I
his
think
heart
it
and his
wasn't
head.
Linus, was it?
And more important, the presence of his pops, bro. His pops, as good as Gary Russell is, he's not his
Yes.
pops, bro.
He's not. He's not. It's a different. It's a different light. It is a different type of coaching. But I definitely believe that Antoine, and I was coming to that fight next. But before
Oh
I
yeah,
get
I
to
got
that
him over
fight, I
Ryan.
think
Late
that it
stoppage.
affected him a lot. It affected him a lot losing his father.
It did.
So
It
with that
and
being
it's
said, do y'all think Gary Antoine Russell and Jose Valenzuela, how do y'all see that fight going? Will Antoine Russell bounce back
I'm gonna
and
go
become
first.
a world champion?
I'm gonna go first. Great fight, late stoppage for Russell. I got that late stoppage, probably like rounds 9 through 11,
Yeah.
and I think it's man. I love that fight. I love the heart of Ryo. I love the skill of Russell Moore.
Mm.
Yeah,
And I,
I got the same thing that Thomas Hill got. I got it. I got Antoine stopping him in round 10. But I got this being the fight of the night.
facts.
Okay. I got this fight something crazy. I got this fight becoming a draw and them doing it again. I
Mm.
think it's
Okay.
gonna be an exciting fight. I like both fighters. They bring something different to the table. I think it's gonna be one of those fights where it's gonna be hard to call, and I'm calling a draw. My first draw. Well, listen, bro. I appreciate y'all, man. We've been here on here. It don't even seem like we'll be on here. We've been
Can I
on
say
here over
one
two
last
hours.
thing before you close out though?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I want to speak specifically to that situation that you was talking about with Devin and with Keyshawn concerning Floyd Schofield.
Yes.
The thing that Keyshawn had was amateur pedigree and people identifying him as an American athlete,
Yes.
also being associated with a powerful force in Bob Arum and Top Rank Promotions. The thing that Devin had was endorsement of Floyd Sr. and Floyd Jr.
Yep.
Mayweather. Those two things give you so much more advantage than going in there as a relative nobody or somebody that got talent and got an overzealous father. And I
Yeah.
mean, you can afford to do some of the things that your boy Bill Haney was doing because there's Mayweather there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mayweather is legit. When you talk about a boxing family, that's boxing royalty.
Yes, it
You got
is.
so much more leeway to do some silly stuff because of that, because they're gonna know. And then you got the leg work. You got a man that done went out of the circuit to go fight at 15,
Yeah.
paid his way, and hardened himself, and then come back to go on and accomplish great things, bro. As opposed to somebody that's on the uptick of their career. So yeah, there is a lot of similarities, but there's glaring differences, and I think those differences, if we had a scale, they would pull the scale on their side all the way down and leave it all the way up on his, because he's got that much merit behind his backing as opposed to Floyd. I want the best for Floyd. I hope the best for Floyd, man. I hope he does great things, and I hope he makes the most of any opportunity and every opportunity he got. But you can't do things like that, and you can't have someone in your camp doing egregious things like that
No, you can't. No,
too
you
many
can't.
times. If he gets another shot, he got to make the most of it, because you don't know how many shots we do get, and that's
And
in
he
life,
does.
bro. So I
And
hope that his dad, if he is listening, no much respect to you, no ill will towards you, bro. I hope that everything you said is true. And if it's
yeah.
not, I hope that you recognize that this is the moment of truth, that you turn from that stuff and you really focus on putting your son in the best place possible to maximize his talent, and that you guys take advantage of every opportunity. Because I'd rather see him
Tomorrow,
fight than win.
before we let me get this out there free, I want you to take us out. Uh Tomorrow, I'm getting the time together right now. I'll have a former retired world champion on, Clarence Bones Adams, a guy that I faced in the amateurs, somebody I really respect. Uh, Me and him, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna do our thing tomorrow. I was able to, man, Bones was a bad man in the amateurs. I was able to get him his first amateur loss ever. And we're gonna sit down tomorrow and do a lot of talking and reminiscing and talking about the good times and everything that's going on with him. He has a gym in Las Vegas right now, and he has a lot of world champions fighting at his, training at his gym. So Clarence Bones Adams will be my guest tomorrow, and I will give y'all the time later. So be looking for that, because me and him gonna get together and figure out what time is best for him. But Clarence Bones Adams will be my special guest tomorrow. Take us on out, Free.
Man, I appreciate everybody coming through. Shout out to my man CDK, my man Thomas Hill, and Too Rich for coming through. BBO for coming through. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thomas Sport. Man, y'all make sure y'all keep it tuned in to Sports Talk Network. We out here doing big things. We're not talking just boxing. We're talking other sports as well. Me and Thomas will be back at it for our NFL draft and free agencies probably sometime later this upcoming week. So just be on the lookout for that. And shout out to the Mighty Sports Talk Network. And we out.
We out. Once
Peace.
again, rest in peace, Angie Stone.
Rest in peace.